Hello everybody and welcome. I'm Count Christo and this is our Russia campaign. So, not a needlessly long preamble, this is going to be a edited series playing as Russia in Victoria 3. Probably just one episode, if not, it will be clear in the title. And I have some goals. So, as Russia, you have a couple of interesting starting conditions. Firstly, you have the third largest population in the world behind only Great Qing and the East India Company. So that's going to make it so that migration, I think, is less crucially important for us than it is for many nations, which is good because I feel like I don't fully grasp or enjoy the migration systems of Victoria 3 very much. So I'm looking forward to playing with kind of big population. Second thing that's interesting about Russia, it starts off with a big army. So I don't want army and navy on this outliner. We'll keep them here. We have a big army. Now, what are we going to do with that big army? Basically, I have plans. I have plans to put my tendrils. Have you seen the propaganda image talking about Russia as an octopus with its tendrils in many continents? I think it's before the First World War. Anyway, that's the plan. Basically, we're gonna live that propaganda. So let me go continent by continent and set out my initial goals. Of course, how the campaign goes is always dependent on, what happens. But these are my initial goals. In Europe, I'm going to look to not really push my borders in Europe. We may decide that just like a small conquest here or there becomes necessary in the fullness of time to realize our ambitions. But in general, Europe, I have no, excluding the Balkans, Europe, I have no conquest aspirations towards. What we want to try and do is basically make friends with everyone in Europe. Britain is antagonistic. That's going to be problematic. We want to try and make friends with everyone in Europe and try and invest in their countries, basically. I want to buy them out, essentially. Then moving around anti-clockwise. Sorry. Yeah, that's anti-clockwise. In the Balkans, there are many Orthodox Christians who cry out for our protection. Can I see... Is there a religion map mode? There probably isn't. I would have to imagine because it's not that relevant a lot of the time. There is a religions overview. Cool. So there are many Orthodox people in the Balkans and they cry out for the protection of their Tsar, of their Caesar, as others might pronounce it. So, or others might put it rather. So we will probably partake in the downfall of the sick man of Europe and acquire some either directly holding land or just some protectorates and interests in the Baltic area. Next, moving to, what's the specific name of this whole region? Would you just call that like Greater Persia? I don't know. I guess it depends on your political affiliation. Anyway, Middle East and extending over into Persia, Afghanistan, Stans, what are today the Stans area. What we want to do, I think, is try and really lock down this area. I'm interested in the idea of trying to monopolize oil and then we tariff its export. Basically, we heavily tariff the export of oil, such that if anyone in the world wants to use oil, they have to go via me. Now, you might be thinking there's lots of oil over in America. We're going anti-clockwise. Patience. So I think trying to spend our infamy, whenever we find ourselves with spare infamy, going after trying to grab states around here and around here where we know there's going to be oil, is going to be productive. Now, taking a little diversion from our clock face to go down here, I do want to have some African colonies. I don't know how easily we're going to be able to get colonial exploitation. I think we will struggle, but maybe not. With the armed forces in government, we could probably get this passed already. It would really annoy the rural folk, which is not good. But where shall we get our colonial possessions in Africa? I haven't fully decided. I feel like going after Oman early so that we have access in here for colonization would be good. Because if we look at these states, yeah, Kenya is the classic kind of you get this bit locked down and then you have this whole region kind of at your beck and call because no one else can get in there. But we're not going to be able to colonize right away. Obviously, we don't have the law. So Britain is almost certainly going to claim this. But basically coming in here, to position ourselves to fight Britain for control of this region. And potentially, I am going to be kind of slightly min-maxing this game as well. So we will probably go and take Transvaal and RNG for the gold production, which gives us a southern route into our African possessions. Long term, do we fight great powers to try and fully control Africa? I don't think so, but we will see. Now, India, I don't know what we do about India. I don't know if there are currently working cheese strats to break the East India Company away from Great Britain. I'm not going to look them up. If there were, I'm not going to use them, because I think this represents kind of one of almost the challenges of the of this era, is the fact that Britain has control of India and therefore such unspeakable quantities of primary materials with which to fuel an industrial revolution. So I'm interested on how we're going to fight Britain, knowing that Britain has India both economically and militarily. So we'll see how that goes. Southeast Asia, we probably will in the fullness of time try and grab some land here, especially things like Brunei for the oil fields, but it's not critical to my plans. Obviously our oil plans are somewhat critical, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This isn't one of my key areas. Same for kind of Australia and New Zealand and so on. Now, Qing and Japan. My theory here is we're not conquering in Europe. We're conquering over here. I like the idea of taking high pop Qing and Japanese states directly and then attempting to kind of convince the people there it was all for the best, and then they can migrate around Russia and we don't have to worry about external migration, which I think will be difficult because we're going to be a little infamous, which will make it difficult for us to persuade people into our market. But yeah, aggressive wars against them, and that maybe that's something we should do early. I don't know. Because right now, Qing obviously has their terrible... oh god, these tooltips are a little finicky. Right now they have these... You have to go so many tooltips deep to see. Yeah, average defense and offense of 10. And we're not the most technologically advanced, but we're up at 20. So I think we would do some serious damage to Qing. And what I think we should probably do to them is try and get a treaty port early. With that in mind, in fact, I think I'm going to immediately declare an interest in South and North China. I want to be involved. They're probably not going to let me into the Opium Wars, Britain that is, but I want to attack them when the Opium Wars are ongoing. And I think we try and take, maybe a Shandong treaty port would be appropriate. There's a... Yellow River helping with Mappy there, which would help us export stuff. Oh yeah, but a natural harbour would be nice too. Any other natural harbours? Yes, the Dalian Bay is a 15% trade capacity harbour, which is just the same as down here. Yeah, cool. But this has... the Pearl River doesn't give Mappy. Okay, fine. But yeah, taking a market port off Qing early, I think will be helpful. Basically, my thinking is if we can get grain being exported from the Qing market to our market, obviously right now that wouldn't be any good, but that could be really useful. And then maybe the same with the shogunate, honestly. If we can keep these guys down and producing grain for us, basically, while we focus on, having people working more profitable industries, I think that would be a really good, and yeah, keeping the Japanese down so that they don't, as they did historically, become a really major rival of Russia in the East. Now, even further east, we have the Russia-American company. Oh, which is actually a company now. Interesting. So you start with a company and it uses up your only company slot. Well, that seems terrible. What do you make? Wood, whaling, and ports. Okay, and I got a mod for filtering potential companies, by the way. And what can I give you industry rights to? Coal is good, I think. I'm no expert. There's something that's worth mentioning here at the top of the campaign, by the way. I'm not very good at this game. So if I say that seems good, don't take it as authoritative as you might if I were talking about a game that I'm better at, which doesn't come to mind. Prime meat from whaling stations? You want me to be the primary producer of meat? That's just not happening. Not with whaling stations, man. Interesting. Well, yes, we have the Russian-American company, and early in the game, and we found this in our English campaign, California is such a good state. Texas is such a good state. So if we could do a play against, where are they? Diplomatic demands. Against Mexico early, excuse me, to try and grab California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas before America does, that would give us such a head start, and it would completely crimp US strength, which would be really good. So I think that's an early war that we're going to be looking into. We could beat the Christ out of Mexico right now. So I might do that immediately. Will anyone intervene? I guess we'll need to find out. But yeah, look at this. 7 infamy for a state as good as California is bonkers. We can get so much industry going here, and there's so much agricultural land that, yeah, I mean, maybe we are doing a migration game after all. But also the migration can just be Russian peasants going to California and making it into a glorious, glorious state. And then, you know, same with Texas, just the quantity of agricultural land over in Texas is balmy. Okay, I think that's the situation. I will make some opening moves. This is an edited series, though it may not seem like it because I've just talked for 11 minutes. I'm going to make some opening moves, and then I'll let you know, first steps. Thanks for watching, by the way. I hope you enjoy it. I think this is going to be a fun one. Oh, yes, and government-wise, my plan, and who knows if it will go. Ooh, we have a market liberal heir. How old are you, Nikolai? 39. Probably going to live a while yet. My plan is to never let the trade unionists get in control, to not follow the kind of Marxist arrow of history style path where you just go from gentry to industrialists to proletariat taking over. Am I using that word right? I think I am. We're going to try and stop history at the point where we're just ruthless capitalists. That's my current theory. Massively prosperous, but massively ruthless capitalists is the end goal that we are shooting for. We also, of course, have a power block, which is a sovereign empire, which, I mean, the problem with subjects, subjects are valuable, aren't they? But the problem with subjects is that when you annex one, all your subjects get mad, which sucks. Really sucks. But the fact that we already have it, I think, means we're probably going to go with it. And we do get the liberty desire tick down from all subjects, which is nice. So maybe we'll go more of a subject play. But yeah, I really don't like the mechanic by which they've tried to make it so that vassalization is not overpowered by making it such that when you annex, you know, this guy, then your protectorate in South America gets mad at you. It seems very limiting. But we'll see what we can do. And I think we just did a trade block as well. So I think Sovereign Empire does work for our aspirations this game. Okay, so first diplomatic moves. And maybe this is a bad idea, but we now have the North German Investment Pact and the South German Investment Pact. North German Pact is bound for 50 years. They agreed to sell us some glass and luxury goods. We sell them some clippers. We also don't subvent tools, give them military access. They give us investment rights in Prussia for 50 years. Austria gives us trade privileges, military access, and investment rights for 25 years for an obligation. Also, we owe an obligation on to Prussia as well. So, I mean, these two could never come to blows and make that cause us problems in the future, right? So we'll see how that goes. Now, can we repair relations with Great Britain? Because I would like to just quietly play a kind of game theory approach, right? Attack the weak and be okay with the strong. So, I mean, natural enemy of minus 75 does seem like it's going to be difficult to overcome. So that's probably not really going to happen. All right, well, we'll see. Let me see where else we might be able to get some diplomatic stuff going. Oh, yes, right, and the Great Game. So we are playing in the Great Game, whatever it's called, scenario or something. So we need to try and do these things. Secure the Afghan protectorate, secure the Persian border, and influence over Persia. So we will look at, control over this region. And if we succeed, I think we get a permanent cohesion bonus to our power block, which is pretty nice. That would be useful. Okay, there's another treaty. The Paris Training Act, whereby we sell them a little fruit. They sell us some luxury clothes and porcelain, fine art and wine. And in exchange, we get 10% off all our military goods cost, 20% training rate, 10% tech spend cost for military, and 50% weekly experience gain for armies and navies for 25 years. Thank you, France. That is going to help for sure our various militaristic ambitions. Okay, some new pacts brought in, designed to keep our subjects loyal, many of which are just them giving us money in exchange for nothing. I got some obligations from some of them, but it doesn't appear to actually have an impact on liberty desire, which seems odd. I feel like if they're obligated to us, it should reduce their liberty desire, but not a big deal. And now the eyes of the Tsar greedily turn immediately to the New World, because we see this land up here. The Tsar was told it was glorious and prosperous. Turns out it's too cold. It's too cold, so we're going south. Okay, the Mexico War looks promising. It's going to take us a while to get our ships into position, but that's okay. We could even sway America in, and if I can sway them in with something that isn't them taking land, that will give them a truce with Mexico, which would be pretty nice, be pretty convenient, slow them down. Oh, okay, and here we go. The British response to the opium ban is angry. So we'll hopefully see a war that break out there. We may be able to make a play in. It would take offering America an obligation. If we offer them an obligation, then we can't declare war on them for 10 years. I feel like an early war against the US is the right move. Because right now, I feel like there's something that changes about the US pretty early. But I think it's because they start with the national militia law, and if they change off this to like professional, then I think they get more scary. I think that's how it works. We'll see. Also, we put the military in governments. We're trying to get colonial resettlement. Why is this higher percent chance? Because no, that's not actual higher percent chance. It's just that higher clout endorse it, but we can't get the petty bourgeoisie in government, can we? I guess we can, actually. Maybe I should do this. Just temporarily. Just to get that extra 5% on here. Yeah, that gives us much better odds. Nice. So in terms of this war with Mexico, I am looking to conquer more states than this. Do we want... How do you pronounce this? Baja California? Or Beja? Or Baja? I honestly don't know. I'm going to assume it's Beja. Is there discoverable resources here? There aren't. This doesn't seem like that good a state, honestly. But yeah, I want to try and take quite a few states off Mexico here. And if we can get... Yeah, America... the good thing about calling America in is it means they can't go to war with Mexico for 5 years, which means we can declare on Mexico next, rather than the US doing it. And that kind of blocks the US out from getting stuff. Seems good. All right, so here's the war with Mexico. Set up. I've made all of these primary demands because with the US on their side, they are very afraid, so they're likely to back down. Only secondary one is revoking their claim on Utah so that we can colonize there. In aid of getting colonial resettlement passed sooner, I'm going to keep a bunch of authority in reserve to decrease our enactment time. Also, plopped down a bunch of education, social mobility in our 5 most populous states to try and get a few more of our people reading. We only are at 14.8% literacy. It's not exactly where you want to be. It has put us up to 42 infamy, which is a lot. It's a great deal, but I think it's going to be worth it. This early land against Mexico is going to be really, really valuable. And yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It's going to take a long time to get rid of that. It may be worth considering not improving relations with Prussia, because they're improving anyway, just to try and eke out a little bit more infamy decay. And yeah, our relations with Finland are going up anyway. So let's maybe cut all these, because our relations with all of these guys are trending up just based on our treaties, which I think are a more diplo-efficient way to do it. Try and get our infamy generation down a little. Okay, a few more agreements that we have signed into force. The Brussels Investment Pact, the Holland Investment Pact, the Porto Investment Pact, and the Toledo Investment Pact. means that our capitalists, not that there are many of them, our private investment pool now have a very large amount of access to the world. But of course, we are on traditionalism, which means only 25% of our construction goes towards private investment, which is not good. This could be a very bad idea, getting all these extra investment rights. I can very much foresee that it might be a bad idea. But I think it will let the Russian-American company buy up some stuff, hopefully, which would be good. And I think in the long term, it will be good. It'll create more industrialists at home and less workers who would empower the trade unionists in the long run, which is not what we're going for. But it's probably a bad idea because it will slow the industrialization of Russia, basically, doing it this way. But I think we'll be okay, regardless. Okay, so the Opium Wars are about to break out. We've decreased relations enough that we can go to war with Qing. It is tempting, but we did already give ourselves 43 infamy, which seems dangerous. I also don't see... You can join Power Block? You must have recently declined that invitation. Huh. Oh, there it is. Take Treaty Port. It costs 8 infamy. So I think we let this decay down such that this doesn't push us up over above 50, which will be a trigger for wow, I hadn't realized how dark it was in this room. That slant of lights looks interesting, doesn't it? Oh, there's the corner. You can see the gap between my screens. Anyway, we'll let it decay down enough so it doesn't put us over 50. And then I think we're going to go for a treaty port against Qing early. I think it would be interesting. Potentially disastrous. Finances aren't looking so hot, but we'll see. Also, we've got a good event. Plus 50% colonial growth and 10% extra chance on this law to pass, which is nice. But do I want to spend my infamy on a Qing treaty port? Or would I rather spend it on conquering Texas while the US can't help them? They can help them? Despite being in a war with me? Interesting. It looks like they won't, though. Which is good. The genteel attitude is helping. Because, yeah, a conquest of Texas early, meaning we don't have to take it from the US, would be nice. So I think we're going to do that. Plus, this way we can wait for skirmish infantry, which is what I'm inventing first, which is probably a terribly inefficient play, but I like the idea of having skirmish infantry really early. And that would mean we can use the skirmish infantry against Qing. Imagine 4 ticks... Law part. Whoops, excuse me. 4 ticks law adopted. Oh, that is jammy. That is jammy. Now the question is, do we establish a colony in Kenya? Oh, we can do one in Sakhalin. Cool. Yeah. And I think the answer is yes, because going off to Oman, it's going to be a pain, right? It's going to cost us quite a bit of infamy, 16 infamy. So I think we do start one here, even though it's going to be really slow. The problem is it slows our development of colonies in America. And actually, that is probably bad enough that I'm not going to do it. I will find another way into Africa. I think grabbing as much as America, infamy-free, is a higher priority. What's this? Don't worry about that. War with Texas has broken out, and the Americans are not going to help them. And the war with Mexico is very nearly over. Looking like our American play is going well. Now the question is just, is this a huge waste of infamy? Because this is going to take, 10 years to get rid of this. Not quite, because we're storing up some influence, but that's okay. 10 years of having to be relatively passive while we focus on trying to, industrialize isn't the worst thing. And there is victory against Mexico. We demand everything. We propose the peace. We go yoink. Look at that. Go manifest your destiny somewhere else, America. Because this land is our land. Now, we can't colonize some areas, but I'm hoping we can cut America off from these sections. And in our future war against Mexico, we can... Oh, and I should get to Colonial as well. In our future war against Mexico, we will make them revoke their claims. Nice. And then I think... I mean, we should probably go to war with America, right? We don't have any infamy, though. But if we just occupied all of America, let it burn for a while. Oh, we owe an obligation, so we can't anyway. Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. I feel like this is going to make England really unhappy with us. But they are anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Formation cannot reach HQ. The First Army can't get home. I'm sure they can. I'll worry about that. Now, this is probably not going to work, but I have got a play. I'm reorganizing the army, by the way. I'm getting sorted on that. Why have I not done this? Right, so what was I trying to say? I was doing something. It was important. Let me remember. Ah, yes. So we have a low roll. Well, it's possible we could try and pass cultural exclusion. The only reason it's possible is because this minority rights movement is getting more support. Can I see where their support is coming from? Like, yeah, who is supporting this? High literacy, discriminated against, academics, clergymen. So I guess the hope is that because we now discriminate, and how badly do we discriminate? A bunch of these people over here, like these local Hokans are obviously in a really bad way. The Mexicans, though, excuse me, why can't I see Mexican? Here we go. Yeah, open prejudice is not that bad. Interesting phrase out of context. I don't know if that will count as discriminated against. I think it does. Yeah, pops in the lower 3 acceptance statuses are considered discriminated. Okay, great. So, again, so it looks like the people we've picked up over here, but I mean, there aren't that many. That's why we took this land now. Basically, I mean, only Texas has over 100k people. It's not very many people. But there's a fair number of discriminated people in other areas, so hopefully the minority rights movement will keep gaining. I should probably wait until we at least have, like, equal chance of passing. I could also do racial segregation. The problem is with racial segregation... Oh, the Russian supremacist movement actually supports this as well, but... And the Polish national movement. Yeah, so if I did this first, there's nothing to stop me then doing this. But 6% is just not enough, is it? Yeah, no. We're going to wait. We're going to wait a minute. See if we can try and get the minority rights movement going a bit more. We're industrializing very slowly because I focused, you know, too much on war and stuff to start with. Oh, I'm not even building anything. Nuts. I will build more here. And then but yeah, we're now focusing on just weighing down this, dealing with some of our subjects, and trying to industrialize. I'm also electing to not pass charity hospitals, which might well be a mistake, but my thinking is I really want to do public health insurance, and if you already have charity hospitals, we wouldn't get our big, powerful Orthodox Church helping us pass it. So I think, again, like, we're really not industrializing, like, researching optimally for industrialization. But maybe I should try researching, like, empiricism next, so that we can try and get more education access, and then pharmaceuticals. And then after pharmaceuticals, then we kick into the industrialization. That can't be sensible, can it? Maybe I let empiricism spread while I research banking. And then once we have banking, we're into atmospheric engine. I think that's the way we're going to do it. So here is the cost of us backing America, us getting the obligation from America. We really should have been able to sway in on the side of the Pawnee, and then that would force America to basically uncolonize a bunch of land, and then we could colonize the land. But it's not the end of the world. Obviously, the Pawnee are going to lose, but we can, as long as we go to war against America relatively soon. If we get them to give us an obligation, by the way, why did this pop up? Did I already have this filled in? I don't remember doing that. If we ask for an obligation, okay, you can't ask for an obligation to get rid of your existing obligation. That's a shame. So it looks like obligations are just kind of locked down. So where, yeah, owed obligations from, yeah, 7 years. So in 7 years, we go against the US, I think. Because the earlier we do it, I think the better place we're going to be, basically. Because they're going to industrialize faster than us, is the problem. Oh, and I did go with the colony down here in the end. I decided we did want to be able to try and have access inland through Kenya. You only need to be in top 3 for meat. And of course, it's not just meat from the company. It's all our meat from all our livestock. Nice. Where are we in terms of producing meat? With a number 2 producer. Nice. Okay, so we will get the prime meat unlocked. Very cool. Very cool. How is our company doing, by the way? I did give them trade rights and stuff, and I gave them the coal, even though we are going to get a coal company later. I don't know what happens when you turn off industry rights. Can't do it for a while, but that's fine. I assume they keep the buildings they already have, just can't buy more in the industry, but maybe they have forced to sell all the ones they have in the current industry. We'll see. Got that colony growth speed from them. Nice. And what are they buying up? Yeah, just a bunch of trade centers, basically. But hey, if they become wealthy off the back of just kind of global, buying up global and controlling global trade, that's fine by me. Our first Balkan power block entrance comes right about now. There we go. That convention included them joining our power block, which I don't think hurts our cohesion. Yeah, because it's still Finland not liking us. We're also making plays for Greece. Looks like we are going to get there quite nicely. And Persia as well. My theory is we get Persia into the power block, and then we use the special power block interaction. I don't think... All right, well, we could show it here, because we can subjugate. They have to be in for 5 years. You lose a lot of cohesion. But that would be a nice low infamy way to get Persia yoinked. It should work nicely. We could also get the Netherlands, but the Netherlands are going to be a harder one, I think. Nice. And there's Persia in. Good stuff. And yes, the embassy rights with Persia are invalidated, which is fine. We should also... All right, we can't withdraw from that yet. In 5 years, we'll stop being allied to Persia. Gulf investment rights we will keep. Nice. So there's that. And yeah, still just Finland that's causing us issues. We also do have room for another principal. I feel like research is going to be good. I need an education system is what I need. But because we have state religion, I think it's going to have to be religious schools. Problem with religious schools is it buffs up the Orthodox. But the thing is, conversion's not bad because we're going to really struggle to get off this. So I think I probably should just suck it up, get religious schools. Hang on, must not have enacted any of... Oh, total separation, state atheism, and serfdom. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing that stops us from doing this right now. Okay, good. We'll do religious schools as our next law then. Oh, hang on. We're not enacting a law. Why can't I do it right now? Religious schools. Current law, religious schools. Must not have enacted total separation, state atheism, or serfdom. I see. Well, that's not good. Okay. The Orthodox block this as well. Okay, no schools for us. So not much point grabbing advanced research because it just buffs institution right now. We also get the bureaucracy cost size for education, and this one with the lack of time penalty, and this is good, obviously, because you get the actual just +5 maximum innovativeness, but we're not even using max innovativeness right now. I feel like construction is just so hard to argue with. Oh, and I hadn't considered this company. It's pretty good, I think. Leverage. I mean, maybe creative legislature, because we're going to have such problems there. But I feel, yeah, and a second early company, that could be good. This is obviously also good. The 20% authority, especially because we're so authoritative at the moment, but this doesn't matter. I don't think. Colonial officers could be good, but we're only colonizing. We're not going to be, I mean, American colonization is not going to last too much longer. We are being quite militarized. This could be interesting. Infrastructure per population could be good because we do have a lot of problems in terms of infrastructure right now because we don't have trains yet. Power block being a customs union. Isn't that already the case? No. Okay. Power block being a customs union, given that we're not a trade block, is interesting. Given that we're not a trade block, though, we can still do goods transfers with them, which is kind of interesting because this lets us play with our relations with block members. But once they're our subjects, they're in our block. They're in our market anyway, and we are intending to try and, you know, pull everyone into our block, to make everyone who is in our block part of one of our subjects. 5 more authority per subject and some income transfer from subjects could be good. I like the idea of a customs union. And the 10% infrastructure is also pretty nice. Convoys contribution really doesn't matter. Yeah, but yeah, the 10% infrastructure, it's got to be construction though, doesn't it? It's frustrating that it feels like construction is... It feels like it's oppressive. It's so good. Or companies. Companies or construction early. Another company would be good. You know what? Yeah, it should be another company. The problem is this gives us benefit mostly once we get to the very end. Yeah, so we should take construction 1, then go companies. The reason companies is because we need to empower the industrialists, and having another wealthy company kicking around should hopefully buff up the industrialists, both by increasing the amount that we build and by, you know, just the ownership pops of the company itself. Tearing through speed on the colonization over here now. Very nice. We won a war against Utah, so we have some serious advantages over America in terms of the speed there, which is very nice. Here's something we could do. We could pass... Well, we really do want charity hospitals, but we could pass dedicated police. By passing dedicated police, we make the petty bourgeoisie very happy with us. The royal folk already hate us. Then we go cultural exclusion, and the petty bourgeoisie will be so happy that they won't oppose it very much, I think. Because they oppose things when they are at... There's this times 0.5 from content, I think. And this is giving them up to 18. This only lowers than 10, which would be down to 8. 8 is happy, I think. Let me check. Okay, the wiki is not very clear on the subject. I think with them at +8, they would give us... They would count as happy. Right, so here... No, I think it would still just be times 0.5, actually, because they would still be neutral. 3 is neutral. What is happy? Is happy +10? Their approval is happy at +6. +4 is neutral. Okay, so it's probably +5. Okay, excellent. So we do dedicated police, which is good anyway, because we get some of it's going to cost us in terms of institutions. Bureaucracy cost, but I mean, yeah, look at that. 450 bureaucracy cost is very painful, but it gives us state penalties from turmoil down, which is nice. And it gets us, yeah, a very happy petty bourgeoisie. And then once we've got this done, we can go to cultural exclusion, which does lose us 100 authority, but it means that we should have significantly less discrimination for lots of, certainly any European pops. Because if we take a look at our main culture, we're East Slavic and European heritage, and with European, any European being able to work in our country happily, that would be good. That is the situation we'd have, right? Because you get +80 from heritage and culture traits. Sorry, no, from heritage and culture. So you get 60 from a heritage trait because it's the European heritage. And 60... Isn't that already what we have, basically? 60 is enough to get you to... Right, okay, yeah. 60 gets you to second-class citizen. Fine. So that's good. And then if they were... any type of Christian, I'm pretty sure they would be okay. Because you get, oh no, 25 from acceptance from state religion, minus 25 from any other religion. Ooh, okay, so with state religion, they wouldn't have 60. They'd have 45. No, 35. That's pretty bad. Is that right? Like a Pole living out here right now. You've got, no, you've got 40. Okay, but you particularly. What is your acceptance status? Yeah, they have 50 because they're living in a homeland, but 40 from that. Yeah, okay, 0 from sharing a religious trait with the state religion. Okay. That's not my reading of this tooltip. Plus 25 acceptance from state religion. Minus 25. Okay. The amount, okay. If it's the same, if they share no traits. Okay, understood. So yeah, any Christian would be only a second-class citizen in Russia if we did that. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. The other thing we need to do is this. Who's backing this? The absolutist movement backs appointed. And we want appointed, right? Because the political strength of bureaucrats would be good for us. This would be even better, but that's not happening for some time. So we should maybe also bolster the absolutist movement. Problem is, how am I going to get their activism higher? It's not happening, is it? No, realistically, it's not happening. Okay. I think it's worth a try. Let's see if we can go cultural exclusion. 4%. Oh, there was going to be no stall, but now the Russian supremacist movement. Okay, okay, hang on. Let me see if we can weaken them. Come off these two. Let's suppress this. What do I need? 200? Alright, hurt my... hurt my Kyiv stuff. Suppress you. Could work. Could work. We are also losing quite a lot of money. Oh yes, and we're protectorating Oman, because I think for this journal entry, influence over Persia, Hormuz has to be owned by Russia or subjects, and I can't just conquer this state because it's a treaty port. But if we protectorate all of Oman, oh hey, there's our authority back, then I think that should work. Oh, huge, huge, plus 10% on the first roll. What are the odds of these things? Those are 11%. Let's go. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Oh yes, and a major war broke out between Egypt and the Ottomans, the classic war. We didn't get involved because England and Austria were on different sides, and I don't want to fight England, so UK rather. So yeah, it's probably, we'll see how that shakes out. I don't think the Ottomans are going to be a threat. Oh, another good opportunity. 15%. Does cost 50 authority, but only during the enactment. Or crime wave fears. No. We stand against vile lies. 32% from 7.9. Oh, baby. Plus, we got Greece in the power block, which is nice. You can migrate within a customs union, I'm pretty sure, by the way, right? So we should definitely get the customs union principle. Because then if we have one or two big people that we're not trying to make subjects, but then why would we make them not make them subjects, you know? Oh, colonization of Utah is complete. Nice. There we go. I mean, it looks like we got the whole state, in fact. We did. Look at that. Nice borders. Good stuff. Yeah, and I am having to... I'm gonna keep taking these choices. Because we need them all to be puppets for us to achieve that that one. And I'm pretty sure, I think I should pin it, you know, actually. This one. So I know how much time I have left. Because I definitely failed this last time I played Russia, I think. I hadn't realized what is going on over here. Who's occupying this? Wait. What? It's this guy. Okay, no, I thought it was someone from New Zealand. This guy here has occupied... They're trying to conquer Idaho, and they've occupied all of this. We've got so many advances, but none no actual progress beyond introduction. Minority rights. So the minority rights movement doesn't push for egalitarianism, does it? No. But I rather just make more people loyalists then. No, this gives boost for the intelligentsia, which would be worth having. Nice. But yeah, are they going to win? It seems like they're going to win, but they are actually... The war leader is Columbia District, but the negotiating partner is Great Britain. Great Britain can go below 0 war support, though. So if they don't get their act together, it's just because Great Britain's busy... Oh, no longer. Were busy fighting on behalf of the Ottomans. Yeah. Problem is, because we're rival to the Ottomans and Britain, they're a little buddy-buddy at the moment. I tried, but I don't think we're going to be able to get Portugal in, by the way. It's investigations are ongoing on that front. There we go. Cultural exclusion. Nice. Very nice indeed. So now if we take a look at the society tab, we will see that all 5 million of the people currently experiencing violent hostility are promoting, and all of the people experiencing cultural erasure are promoting, all of the people in open prejudice are promoting, and all of the current second-class citizens are promoting. Very nice. So anyone Orthodox is going to be full acceptance, I believe, because full acceptance is 80, and Orthodox gives plus 35 right now. No, plus 25. Yeah, and then everyone else is going to be either open prejudice or second-class citizens, I think, because this is 40. And with cultural exclusion, that was really lucky. I think you get better events for some laws. I think it might be like weighted. Anyway, so no, okay, so the base is still 20 because you need to share a culture trait. So yeah, the base is still 20, which is what? Cultural erasure. That's right. So you have, yeah, relatively good assimilation rates, which is kind of good, but yeah, much more acceptance for a lot of people now. That's going to be really nice. It's going to increase wages. It's going to increase political strength. Might be a bad thing. The more qualifications is really good. Nice. Very nice indeed. What do we want to do next? I think it's got to be the charity hospitals. Yeah, I mean, that's literally all we can do. I mean, we could reform the government. There's nothing more legitimate right now. I think we're going to start having problems with legitimacy as we get rising other groups. But, yeah, I mean, it sucks to empower the Orthodox Church, but I think it's got to be done. We established, did we not, that we can't... we have a visitor, by the way. Hello, buddy. What do you think we should do? I think he wants me to come and play because he's got his arm on mine. Poor. He hasn't got any arms. But yeah, we can't do this. Oh, no, you can do this. All right, hang on. Well, scrap that then. We are going to do this. I thought you couldn't do this without... with serfdom for some reason, but we can. I had pivoted on my research approach. Let's get pharmaceuticals next. No, because we've got empiricism spreading. Right. We need to stay on some of these production techs for a bit. We're kind of lagging behind, I think. Relatively dramatically lagging behind, actually, on our industrialization. Oh, and we're helping Prussia with the revolt. Oh yes, the other thing that happened is I invited a agitator. He's pretty bourgeoisie Democrat, and he started a liberal movement, which I am bolstering. See if we can start getting some stuff there. The supremacist movement, by the way, went away and just came back again. I think, yeah, so they're going to go to protesting, but that's because of the recent enactment, so they probably won't ever get to protesting, and this recent enactment will go away, and I will be fine. And here is a treaty that I think will serve us quite well. I'm spelling everything wrong, by the way, and I'm just not going to worry about it. This is the Sakhalin Trade Pact. We agreed to sell them a bunch of goods. They'll sell us some goods, including dyes, which we were short on, which is good. And some tea, just because our people will like that. And we get a power block embassy in Japan, which seems pretty good. I don't know that will be enough. Excuse me. Can that really be how much leverage we have even after the power block embassy? Wow. Is it because of their isolationism? I think their leverage resistance is crazy high because of isolationism. Yeah, plus 100% from isolationism. Still, it's nice to have some good relations with Japan, especially because we just got Sakhalin, which I mean historically might cause some issues, right? But yeah, a treaty of friendship with Japan in the meantime seems good. Probably someone else will open up their markets. Well, I guess it won't be the US. Now I think about it. But maybe the British will open their market and then we can be the ones that jump in and say like, oh no, that's terrible. Did the British open up your market? Anyway, here's all these goods. That would be good. That would be good. Meanwhile, yeah, the budget situation is not great. I'm really focusing on trying to get our universities going because our people are not literate and it is causing problems. Our iron mines unable to employ because there's no one qualified to work in them, which is a problem, but we'll keep working on it. Keep working on it. As predicted, the British are attempting to open the Japanese market, and the Japanese may well just roll over. The British are also involved in trying to support this French Orleanist revolt, though, so we'll see. We could always negotiate support for Britain. Sorry, for Japan against Britain. But I think instead, our infamy is coming down. We should make a play against the US. And I think I see the US as our main enemy at the moment. Because Britain is obviously the long-term enemy. And we should add that to the goals for the campaign. We need to beat Britain in all respects. I want a more mighty navy. I want a more mighty army. I want to take at least the Columbia District from them. But yeah, America, I think, is the more imminent threat. And their army kind of sucks, right? Do they have skirmish infantry? 28, 30, 30, 30. So yeah, I think they do. But we have 30, 30, 30, and we have a substantially larger standing army, which will have, some degree of veterancy. And our obligation with them runs out pretty soon, in 8 months. So I think what I'm going to do, and there's no shortcut for any of these darn HQ orders. And how's their fleet, by the way? Probably, you know what? It's probably rubbish. There we go. It is kind of rubbish. Well, is it any good, though? Go down the 3 tooltips to find out. 19. It's not nearly as good because we have so many heavy ships. Okay, so war against the US, and what's the objective? Not much. We can't take much from them because I really want our infamy to get back down to 0 and then bounce between 0 and 24 and 0 and 24 and 0 and 24 because we have lots of subjects, and having over 25 is going to hurt our relationships with them. So, yeah, send the armies over. The Tsar's bow, the Tsar's sword, and the Tsar's lance, with Tsar spelled differently every time. And let's see what can be done here. I think this could go pretty well. With a nice blockade to cut them off from the world market. Okay, I have identified a problem, which is that by deploying our armies overseas, we get a massive convoy penalty. I think if we wish to take the fight to America, which I still definitely think is the right play, we're going to need to build a substantial port, or several substantial ports, in order to facilitate us being able to deploy men this far away, which makes a lot of sense, and I like as a logistical challenge. So there is this war where they're being opened up, as we suspected. We could, transfer Columbia District or something and get really involved. Maybe fighting Britain early is better. But I think right now my focus is going to stay on America. And we will benefit from the opening of the Japanese market. I'm hoping they don't add a treaty port, in which case potentially we can then get a treaty port, and then just because their market's open, we still will be able to yoink some stuff out that way. I don't know how valuable it is having a treaty port on a non-closed market, but we will see. I mean, England is distracted simultaneously in a war against Austria and France. So maybe now is the moment. But the thing is, again, we can't deploy too many men overseas. So if I start trying to fight Britain over the Columbia district, it just seems like it would go badly. It's such a good moment, though, for Britain to be weakened. I don't think the time is now. Also, hurting a little bit on debt, which I don't love. We did just get banking, though, so that will help a little bit there. And now I think we're inventing pharmaceuticals. No, right. I was getting the water tube boiler first because we need to industrialize more. It's painful how little industrialization we've managed to do so far, which is because of my priorities. But we'll get there. We will get there. Yep. Without our help, the Japanese shogunate did indeed back down. So now I wonder if we can get trade privileges and investment rights off them. We could certainly do it. Oh, you know what? They would be a good potential for a defensive pact, I think, because then we can probably leverage that to fight Qing. We could also offer them an embassy, which would obviously increase the rate at which they get recognized, which is not good. But if they're recognized and our friends and they help us fight China, that's not the worst, is it? Not the worst. Let me look at how we might be able to finagle this treaty. There we go. Open for business has entered into binding. We are going to sell them the finer things in life. And all of these make us a profit. All of those sales make us a profit. And they're going to give us trade privileges and investment rights. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Now, hopefully they don't sign too many other trade privileges things. And then, you know, presumably the Japanese market makes a fair amount of stuff. Like, what's cheap on your market right now? Yeah, wine, sugar. Yeah, grain is relatively cheap. It's cheap on our market too, but yeah, that's good stuff. It's good stuff. Now we are at minus 1,000 convoys with only the Tsar's sword overseas. I don't know why it's costing us 1,000 convoys, because it says, where do you see it? I swear I saw somewhere here that it cost 1,000 convoys. I don't see. Right, the ammunition goods shortage is causing us problems as well. We'll need to resolve that. But these 56 men at full equipment. Ooh, who are you fighting? These guys, right? We might be able to take the US with these guys if we made the war goal something that we could quickly occupy and then defended. But yeah, we do need to resolve this. The spy network strength being this bad is going to cause some problems for our colonies over here. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Really, really bad, really slow industrialization that I've done at the beginning here. Also, I think we're going to get agrarianism. Now, agrarianism is better than traditionalism. It's obviously a lot worse than interventionism. But 50% private allocation and no more 15% negative MAPI, and an effective swing of 100% going from minus 50 to plus 50 on aristocrats' investment pool efficiency, and 25% less negative on the capitalists, and no negative on the shopkeepers and more positive on the farmers and clergymen. This seems like the way to go. Yeah. It also cheers up the rural folk. We're going to do that, and then we're also going to enact protectionism, I think. And I feel like protectionism is really good these days because it gives you lots of opportunities to make treaties and things by offering to not embargo stuff. I mean, not embargo, tariff. Okay, so in terms of getting these steppe lot to cheer up, unfortunately, we are going to narrowly miss it. They're at 33 Liberty Desire right now. I'm doing everything I can to reduce it, and it's not quite enough. So I think we give them Arkmolinsk. I think that's the way to do it, because that should drop their Liberty Desire, yeah, by 12, which should complete this. And then once this is complete, we can then annex them, I think. I think that's how that works. Okay, pacification of the steppe completes. The silent steppe. Silence down, collapse proud cliffs, be merry. And yeah, we just annex them all. That's pretty funny. So we can consolidate our gains here. We get 1 province, gets pacified steppes. That seems bad. I assume it also applies to all their states. What does it give us? Less turmoil, less radicals from conquest, less mortality, or claims on a whole bunch of land further south. Obviously, we're going to go with that one. So that's kind of broken. So we should have done that earlier. We should just give them random states, and then we just get it all back again. That's funny. Maybe it would have been incorporated if we hadn't done that. But anyway, is there any way to visualize claims? I think, incredibly, there isn't. I think I could just have to hover, but I think basically I've just claimed all of this. No, I haven't got that far south. How about here? No. So just these 4, basically. And we can presumably just colonize this now, yeah. So we'll start doing that. Nice. Good stuff. Okay, yoink. That worked. Oh yeah, and agrarianism going relatively well. Have had to give the some boosts to the landed gentry's political power, unfortunately. Okay, here's a good moment. Companies 3, which gives us the extra max number of companies. And now this is an important moment, which I'm sure I will handle suboptimally. We currently have 2 free company charters. No, just 1 free company charter. But if we took the coal off the Russian-American company and gave it instead, I was looking at the New Russia Company Limited, I think. Where is that? Oh, it's not available yet. Nuts. What do we need for this? It needs to be Kharkiv or Alessandrovsk. Needs to have level 5 building. Okay, I think this is what we get, though, because prestige iron seems nice. Throughput for buildings using iron. Lots of buildings use iron. And then it can have steel and railways. I think that makes sense. Because we're going to build a lot of railways and they cost a lot to build. So having them be able to do that for us is good. And then we get iron, coal, steel, and railways all in one company. And then we just let the Russia company, the other company, do the trade centers. And then the 2 industrialist approvals, good. The railway building throughput, it's only 10%, but that seems pretty good. What are the other options? This, for motor industry. So we go motor instead, and then we do a separate one for trains, basically. But this doesn't have coal. I guess we leave coal on New Russia Company. I mean, on Alaska Company. Where else could we get coal from? Presumably this metal guild can do it? Yeah. And this also gives us a steel mill throughput doesn't seem quite as good. Fertilizer plant. Yeah, I think New Russia Company Limited seems like what we want to do. So Kharkiv needs level 5 coal. Kharkiv is here. Oh, I haven't even started. Nuts. As you can see, I'm focusing on trying to get more convoys going at the moment. I've also raised taxes, which is going to hurt our standard of living quite a bit. You're now coal or iron? Definitely iron. Just go straight to level 5 on that. Okay. Seems good. This boy is going to take 24,856 weeks. That's fun. But yeah, with 600 convoys, we can now afford to send over Tsar's Lance. Because yeah, here now it says convoy cost here. It's interesting. Okay, we can't quite afford it, but very soon can. So let's send them over. With them, with the Tsar's Lance and the Tsar's Sword, I think we can take America. Especially because I think we can quite easily blockade them. Because they have, yeah, 2 flotillas. Okay. Okay, and yeah, so we'll let a little bit more convoys come up. Maybe we send over a few more men, because we still have time. Infamy's still coming down, but I don't want them to get stronger. Our GDP is very similar. Oh, they have a lot of foreign ownership. Where do you own a bunch of land? In France and Brazil. Interesting. But yeah, I just want to get a few more ports done. But getting this company going is so important. Yeah, slow down a little bit there. Also, are we... yeah, we could have a little bit more innovation. So let's get that university going. The problem is when we're at war, we're really going to need this percussion cap done, which isn't going to be done for another year. More than a year, right? Yeah. 3 years almost. I think we're going to have to go to war without domestic ammunition manufacturing, which seems bad. But I think we can win. 80% chance on agrarianism. It's taken a while. There we go. Which gives us more free corporate charter as well. Very nice. So that should, I think, radically increase our investment, which is going to be very, very nice. Good, good. It's going to free up more money to yoink a bunch of privatizations. Oh, yes. About 100% increase in reinvestment. That is extremely good. Ooh, that did suddenly hurt a bunch on administration. I didn't realize that this made administration cheaper. Ah, yes, there you go. 25% bureaucracy population cost modifier. Didn't realize that was going to be a thing. That's annoying. Now, the next thing we want to get rid of is serfdom, but I just don't think that can happen. We're going to have to spend a lot of time industrializing before that's remotely plausible. What we could do, though, I can't do it right now because the gentry just don't like it. I don't think there's any way to get this through. The Gentry Assembly are happy, though, so they would provide no stall chance. We just need the armed forces in government, and we could potentially get from this, because the lower experience gain is nasty. The mobilization is good. But we don't need that many mobilized troops, realistically, do we? We could get onto professional army. Can we get these two in government? Oh, we can't even get the armed forces in right now. What about? Yeah, okay, so we can get the armed forces in. Unacceptable is not good. No, we can get the armed forces in like this, actually. Contested is not the worst. The other thing I was thinking about doing, of course, is public health insurance. I think we do public health insurance first. We're going to unlock the ability to start doing that in just a second. And that gives us the possibility of like really high population later on, which seems fun, because eventually I am going to worry about that. We could also do protectionism in the meantime. No, I think yeah, health system, and then trying to get professional army implemented is the way to go. Now that is what I love to see. The gentry want us to pass protectionism. By all means, I would love to. We're also going for the public health insurance, for which we will build more administration. Oh, damn it. So unfortunately, to do the New Russia Company, you also need the Besma process, which may have been in the tooltip a moment ago, but I didn't see it if it was, and I don't think it was. So that's frustrating. In which case, we will indeed fight this war against America without percussion cap invented. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But the mighty port of Ingra, the heavily subsidized, not naval base, sorry, the heavily subsidized port of Ingra is, with any luck, going to put us in a good place to be able to supply our men. I'm a bit worried that the supply route cost is currently 0. I think that's wrong. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, what land do we want to take off America? I don't know. Could we protectorate them? That would be funny. We could liberate countries from them, like New Africa, for example. That would be funny. That might spare them the civil war, though. I think what we want to do is take these areas off them, because there's not very many people over here. So that's my current theory. So it doesn't give as much infamy as, yeah, taking these is lots of infamy. So basically what I'm trying to do is neuter their ability for future growth through population, because they get loads of population in these states because there's so much arable land. And if we can strip all that away from them, that will put us in a strong position. And I'd also ideally like to make them give up their claims on these states so that we can colonize them. We'll have to do the same to Mexico. But the other plan with this war is I'm going to try and just damage their country by causing devastation and by occupying the land. Because with the land occupied, it loses world market access, I believe, which can be devastating. So yeah, in just a short time here, we'll be going against America. The Tsar's sword, lance, and bow stand ready to burn the upstart, wannabe great power of the Americans. Okay, war with the hated United States, our main nemesis, our rival because fortune and circumstance result in them having these large states. Oh my god, many of which the population has massively increased in the last year. This is why we need to take it off them now, so that all these Bulgarians rocking up in Nebraska serve their proper masters, aka us. Now, importantly, in Dixie, no one has an interest. In the Great Plains, the British have an interest. In the Midwest, just Upper Canadian. So, will the British side against us? They are in they're against Hindustan right now. Okay, that could be distracting. Hindustan is presumably not a complete pushover, never mind. Hindustan is a complete pushover. Where do we want to take? Well, first off, if we take Nebraska, is Britain going to side against us? They are. That's unfortunate. Is there any way to avoid this? And there's no one else interested in these parts, so... yeah, Britain being against us is untenable, I think, at the current time. If they were fighting France at the same time again, they only have 100 battalions. Problem is they'd start invading us at home. But maybe that's all they'd do. They don't have very high ooh, one of those has 40. That's quite scary. Did I leave anyone at home? The Eastern Army I left at home, but that's it. Everyone else I've sent over here. With Britain in, I think it would become untenable. So I guess what we have to do... but I don't want to take a chunk out of the south, because that will weaken or perhaps even prevent the American Revolution, which I would like to avoiding. I think that is how it has to be, though, isn't it? We yoink a bunch of land down here, which is their most, currently some of their most prosperous land. And by conquering it, we will remove it from being a slave state, which will mean that lots of the people here, the Afro-American pops, will suddenly become free, which will dramatically increase their standard of living, which might make them quite loyal. What is the acceptance of them in Russia? It is quite low. Yeah, so they wouldn't be loving life, but they wouldn't be slaves. So maybe the play is actually to confront Britain directly. The US wouldn't join in. That might be the play. So we fight Britain for this coast, which isn't that much infamy. And in taking this coast, we beat Britain. And by beating Britain, we truce lock them out of supporting America. I think that is a thing that works. If not, we'd have to humiliate them. A humiliate war goal. This, by the way, is where it should show how you can enforce a war goal. Let's see if it does. It doesn't. That's unfortunate. I'm pretty sure a humiliate war goal requires you to hold any of their incorporated states for the for that. What if it was a liberate country? They'd still back them. And Sweden supporting them is interesting. Does Sweden even have an interest here? Sweden has interest in their capital. Okay. It's tricky. It's tricky. Because if I take just like these 3 states, that's so much less impactful than yoinking a bunch of these ones. So I think what actually has to happen is one of my decent defensive armies, it's got a lot of calves, it's not purely defensive, but goes home. And we just take on Britain as well. And I think we do that. Can we possibly do this? Because if we took these 3 states, that puts us in pretty strong footing on the west coast, obviously. Again, these are states that are going to become more and more populous. Wow, look at this. 100,000 Rajput people over here. And is America... America presumably does have an interest in the Pacific coast. Yeah. So surely America is going to back them. Now, America might not back them. So if America doesn't back them, we just fight America next. Possibly while still in the war with Britain. But yeah, in order to do that, the Holder force has to go home. It's only going to take 74 days to get home. And against Britain, we have to defend... Oh, we have to defend so many fronts at the same time. The blocking force can defend against naval invasions here, and them in the east. Because they could invade us in any of these places. It's risky. It's certainly risky. I think... And if Mexico sided against us, that would be annoying. Mexico will side against us. They'll be offered land by Britain and will side against us. Okay. But they have very few battalions. I think it can be done. It's kind of crazy. I think it can be done. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. I'm nervous, as you can probably tell. And we'll make Oregon the primary war goal. They might just accept, but I don't want to risk them accepting because I want to fight Britain. If they accept, presumably this gives a truce, but it probably only gives a truce with the Columbia District. If we get a truce with the Columbia District, is there a more convenient way to fight Britain? Show me the British power block. No, this is the best place for us to fight Britain right now. Yeah, okay. So we do this, and we force the matter. Now, we can sway Britain? Very interesting. Sorry, America onto our side. Okay, let's look into that. Because that would be great. We could then try and deliberately delay. Let Britain and America battle it out on the East Coast. Very interesting. No, we can't sway them because they're hostile or below on relations. So America is going to mobilize against us in this war. Oh, this might be a reload situation. Let's just see how it shakes out. I have reloaded. We're still going to do the war, but it occurred to me that I tried to turn on the infamy rework mod, which makes it so that the minimum 5 infamy for a state isn't a thing. And I hadn't turned it on. So these should be costing... Yeah, there we go. So now some of these cost less than 5 infamy. And it's more strictly based on population, which I think is reasonable. Like when America took all these states off Mexico, it didn't cause the whole world to suddenly go against Mexico because there weren't very many people there. And also it was a long way away, which is still not calculated. But anyway, same story. Yeah, it says minus 28, but just kidding. Plus 37. And the freaking Dutch East Indies might get involved against us. Oh dear. It's occurred to me that this is actually a better diplomatic play. Transfer Columbia District. Much less infamy, and we'd get the whole region under our control. And actually, we should let them Except, I mean, 21% chance, not a high percent chance. Yeah, and it didn't happen. But if it had happened, we could have then just declared another war on the US. And Britain would sort of come in against us. But yeah, transferring Columbia District seems like the play there. The war for dominion of the Americas has begun. Russia and her noble allies versus Great Britain and the United States. Great Britain does have a large army down here fighting Hindustan right now, which means that we are currently unopposed on this front. They are choosing to go after Alaska. I accidentally put the artillery here and the cavalry here when I meant that to be exactly the opposite way around. But I think it is now too late to correct that. We're not raising our conscripts yet, with the exception of this new army that I've spun up in the east, because I think they would be useful in case we get invaded, especially by the Dutch East Indies over there. We are attempting some blockading over here. Present 100%, ready to defend. How do I see, I guess, if the market... But the problem is this place has market access. That's world market access it likes. So we'll see how the world market access trends, but many of these places don't have a trade center. Here does. So perhaps I should be ranging further north. Presumably they're doing... Yeah, they're doing... not a huge amount of trade, period, but some here. How do I see which node you're connected to? This is connected to the world market via the New York hub. Okay. So let's go off here. How do I see which... Yeah, New York is a world market hub, but which sea zone connects to it? Okay, I guess I can infer by the number of ships, convoys going through them, that this is the more important one. So let's give that blockade a go. Now here, yeah, with heavy subventions, we're getting enough ammunition from the Germans, and we'll see how this goes. Their average defense is, yeah, pretty close. They're not attacking right now. Now, do I launch into the offensive here? Or, oh, hey, and there is our first invasion. Why can't I deploy to this? That's weird. Do I need to wait like another day or something? You are mobilized. That's concerning. I don't think I have time to wait on the defensive here. Let's see how the first offensive battle goes, but we could just wait to free up these guys, but the thing is, when they're free, all of these British troops will come down. But the British armies look like they kind of suck. My guess is they're industrializing a higher priority than teching up militarily, where we took a very deliberate approach of that. Hudson's Bay Company. Okay, maybe it's because it's stalled that they aren't in there right now. So let's see. How are these going? They have a lot of defense. How do they have 50 defense? They don't? Oh, it's just this one skirmish infantry they have. It's getting buffed up by extra supplies, being the US. He's got a tactical trait. 3 battles launching along here. We look to be trading casualties relatively well. We have more men than them, I think. Well, once they mobilize up, that's not true, but let's see. Let's see how some of these go. And meanwhile, we are taking Colombia's capital. Colombia's not a negotiating person, though, so that doesn't really matter. So to get their war support down, we need... Oh yeah, I also put in transfer the Hudson's Bay Company, by the way. So we need to take the Hudson's Bay capital, the Columbia capital. And then on the US, Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Kansas, Nebraska, and South Dakota are things. And that just puts us just below 50 infamy. We are winning some of these. More of our men than theirs getting demoralized. Oh, it could go either way. Could go either way. I should probably... I think this works. So Cassia embargoing us. We still have a truce with them, I think. And we are going to get public health insurance during this war. These look like to be going our way. The fact that they have worse stats than ours looks like it might tell. Oh, right. Yeah. My bad. Pay the military. In fact, overpay the military. Give me that morale recovery. Get my people back in just as soon as possible. Yeah, so they have Hudson's Bay all occupied. Ingra, right, so they're going to come blockade us here. Okay. We should be able to win these fights at sea. That's nice. Americans fighting us here. Do we have the world market access limited here? We do. We do. Quite dramatically reduced. We do need to avoid them doing the same to us, though, because that right there is our access to ammunition. The world market is the only thing giving us access to ammunition. As these extra men come down, especially these good American troops, I do feel like we're going to start having problems. Can I deploy to this one? No, I think both of these are stalled. Interesting. Don't really understand how that works. You guys, looks like we do need to come over and defend our supply lines. Don't know why. Surely not a huge amount of stuff is going through here. Ah, but our supply connections are. Yeah. So that's important. Send these guys over. They can do some organized merchant convoys. Now, second wave of battles. Yeah, unsurprisingly, beginning to run into problems now that their reinforcements are here. Might have to pause the offensive. But if we pause the offensive, are we going to get any stronger? I don't think so, right? They are. They're going to be able to consolidate more of their men onto this front. There's loads of people en route. This might be a bust. We'll see. We'll see. These battles are actually going pretty well. Greece is here and fighting for our defense, by the way, which is nice. Ooh, 30 of them here now. Interesting. They'd have to be the ones attacking us, though, I think, if we're on convoy escort. I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see. And yes, some occupation of Texas, but not consequentially so. Their average defense is dropping. Meanwhile, of course, we're charging through up north. Oh, could go either way. Could go either way. Losing some convoys, but the massive shipyards of Ingra shall hopefully replenish. Okay, having brawled it out for a while here, I think this is not the way to go. So this is definitely saves coming, unambiguously. I'm going to reload. We need to find a way to fight the US or Great Britain independently, as opposed to both at once. And the way to do it is to take Kenya off Great Britain. We do a little war to take Kenya off Great Britain and to humiliate them, then they can't oppose us, then we fight the US. That's the way we win, I think. So I'm going to reload to back before. Okay, I'm not finding a good way to get to war with just the UK right now. Literally, I can declare on anyone in the world, and there's no one that the freaking... I haven't checked literally everyone, but there's basically no one that the UK will back that the US will not back, which is frustrating. So I'm just using up my infamy on yoinking some Central Asian powers, basically. In the meantime, we did just finish passing our health system, which is good. But we are going to need, yeah, more bureaucracy, especially if we want to increase the quality of our health system, which I do. Beyond that, you know what we could probably do? We could probably subjugate you. Yes. Or you. I've already done it to you, haven't I? Yes. Who do we have in our power block that's independent right now? Is it just Montenegro? I think it's just Montenegro. I'd be able to tell by checking the cohesion change. Yeah, one independent member. So, yeah, Montenegro, congratulations. It's going to tank my cohesion. But Oof, and the loyalty side is increasing because they're isolated from the market. You know what? Probably going to just undo that. But anyway, also, the mod updated while we were playing. So we have this cool new, like, here's how much money's flowing into the investment pool. Here's how much government construction is currently costing us. I like that. Seems nice. But yeah, just looking for the opportunity, basically, to claim the Midwest. Right, so in a problematic move for our continued friendship with both Prussia and Austria, they are going to war for German leadership. I think I declare neutrality immediately, just so that, because I don't really care who wins. I'd rather Prussia won for border war purposes, but I don't really care who wins, and I don't want either of them to call me into it. Oh, that removes the alliance, but only from Austria. Hey, Austria, do you want an alliance back? You do you? Interesting. Okay. I didn't know that was going to withdraw us from the alliance, but that does make sense because Austria was the defender and we had a defensive alliance with them. Okay, they had thought of that. Okay, well, we'll probably just renegotiate that alliance with Austria then. That's fine. Okay, I mean, this looks good. The South German Investment Pact, bound for 99 years. We commit to implementing a professional army so that we can help them next time. We'd love to help them this time. We just need a professional army, which I think will make it easier for us to pass this. They keep giving us investment rights and trade privileges until the end of the game. We also have a defensive pact till the end of the game, which is potentially bad, but I kind of like the idea of just trying to stay buddied up to this lot. So sure, let's do that. I assume that won't let them suddenly like re-pull us into this war. And the North German Investment Pact, because the Holy Alliance, if I withdraw from this, is this a one-click happen, or will it give a pop-up telling me how much they'll dislike me? Because I would like to tie our alliance to the other pact, if possible. We could also, I mean, we don't really need military access through Prussia. Military access through Austria, I was thinking about access down to the Ottomans on a broader front, but yeah. As soon as this is no longer binding, we'll renegotiate it into something that they like the look of, I think. And there's no one else really that I can get treaties with right now, I don't think. I could get a power block embassy on Qing, but their population is just too big, basically. It's not really feasible, I don't think. That's not a big deal. By the way, we are beating up Central American countries purely to try and goad the US into going to war with us in a way where the British will not. The British are really bogged down in Hindustan. I think there must be some kind of bug. Hopefully this war will eventually end. Right now, they're both at 0 war support and looking to stay there. But yeah, I'm just going to keep humiliating Central Americans until America finally decides that enough's enough and goes against me. They had plus 33% chance to join on this one, by the way. And they still didn't. The cowards. That one would have Britain in it. They're not joining even in the one that has Britain? Come on, America. Their expand core territory strategy is causing problems. And I assume Britain is still very much in favor of joining America. Yes. It's unfortunate. Oh, but they only have one war now, Britain. They had 2 earlier. And yeah, this was what a lot of my last hour looks like. Just trying to find ways to get Britain to be in a war against me. I've looked at all the people that they like, even people that they have guaranteed. Like, they guarantee these guys, right? And if I just swan in and say, okay, you guarantee them, I'm going to conquer them, they still probably won't join, which is annoying. I don't know what to do about that, because we can't take them both on at once, not yet. On the bright side, it's giving us some time to industrialize. We're up to, yeah, I'm doing some slightly inadvisable construction here, but getting gold mines just seems too good to pass up. You know what I should do? I should incorporate more of my land. We're short steel, huh? Yeah, our steel stuff is not it's not exactly flourishing because they are unable to employ. Unprofitable due to decreased productivity if you hired more people. You're an idiot. Just hire more people. We'll subsidize steel for a while. We do have the new company, New Russia Limited. Here they are. They will, yeah, accrue a bunch of assets in Germany, it looks like. But yeah, they have the coal industry. So I think what we should do is remove coal from here. And then the question is, do they lose coal mines that they already have? I suspect no. And then we can add fishing wharves. We can do it for free right now, so kind of no reason not to. But yeah, this company has not been very profitable. I think maybe this is where we should have gone with a monopoly. But law commitment being contravened. Oh, you have to do it immediately. I didn't know that. So yeah, there's the Guatemala humiliation. You want to trade through me and you'll give me... And I'll sell you stuff. Who is this? You? No. I decline. We're just going to conquer you. But yeah, we'll see what we can do on the treaties. Looks like the law commitment does not increase the odds of this thing passing, which is a shame, but it's not the end of the world by any stretch. How is this war going, by the way? Prussia's winning. Color me surprised. So, it's obviously not the ideal company for industrializing, but I feel like unique cursed grain producers could be good, because by doing this, we deny a bunch of wheat farms and rye farms from the landowners, or more correctly, from the manor houses in which the landowners work. So if we give them a monopoly on wheat farms, the thing is, the monopoly, it's just exclusive building rights. But hopefully these guys now buy up a bunch of our grain farms. The thing is, though, once a grain farm is owned by a manor house, presumably, and I should also, like, where is our largest manor house? They're mostly just owning subsistence farms. Now I look at it, so maybe that was a bad idea. If we look at, where do we have some farms going on? Like these rye farms. Yeah, they're owned by manor houses. If we can try and have more of them owned by capitalists, I think that would be good. We're having no luck at all on professional army, by the way. I didn't realize it was as low as 15%. It's a bit of a problem. We're also, I turned off, we had some consumption taxes, which I've turned off because I thought our radicals getting a little high, although a lot of them are just the recently conquered lands. This is another place that had very good relations with Great Britain that we conquered. Also, we got Congo. Our Congolese colonial efforts are ongoing. They did it! We've done it! The US... I'm thrilled. We've been... Oh, the fields, forests, I suppose, and plantations of Central America are littered with the bodies caused by the cowardice of the United States of America. Oh, hey, they got this land off the UK. I didn't realize. But that's really good. That's really very good. Because now... now... Oh, we're already at 15 infamy, which is annoying, but... Oh... Baby, America, you done made a mistake. You're gonna regret this. How are these not shortcutted, by the way? Buttons you have to press repetitively over and over. No shortcuts. Anyway. Oh, America. America, America, America. You got 29 battalions with 125 that can be mobilized. You made a big mistake. All right, there it is. There it is. We're going to take Oregon and Washington, and American Colorado and Wyoming and Montana and North Dakota. And we're going to liberate New Africa, which is that whole area. And we're going to make them revoke their claim on Arizona, so that when we fight Mexico, we can make it such that we're able to colonize this region from the Navajo. No, I thought it was... Is Navajo and Navajo the same thing? Anyway, these two, Apache and Navajo, don't know. Anyway, we should be able to kind of bulldoze early on. The Tsar's lances, the Tsar's bow, the Tsar's sword, and the holder force are all present. We have got the blocking force staying at home. The Eastern Army, I will probably, I mean, it's going to take them a long time to get here, isn't it? Well, 108 days, it's not too bad. I forget, it's 100 days. The escalation's paused for a while, so yeah, they should get here in time. Yeah, that used up, yeah, up to 49.1 infamy cap. I did also, oh, I didn't, no, okay, did I not put in the humiliate? I didn't put in a humiliate. That's not so good. I did mean to humiliate them so they couldn't back the United Kingdom, but maybe this is better, actually. Because my intention is to devastate the United States. Truly devastate them. And the fact that we've released the South, yeah, no, I think it's okay without humiliate. Would I rather have humiliate than the revoke claim? I probably would. I might. One moment. There you go. Just as it was all along, we're going to humiliate them. And here you go. Yes, you can see it's controlled if any of the following are true. Control at least one American state. At least one. If any of the following are true, control at least one American state, control the capital. If the first is true, the second is always true. It's just that they've built that into all of them. I see. I see. I see. Okay. Okay, okay. Bring the forces over. Deploy to the front. They will pay. It's their fault I had to reload, in my mind. so we're going to make them suffer. So the plan is to occupy a lot of their territory and then really, really put the screws on them, basically. Okay, so here's the war. And what I'm thinking is we hold on this front and we invade over here. Because I imagine a lot of their industrialization is going to be over here in the east. So New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, a lot in Pennsylvania. Not a whole lot down here in the south, which I guess tracks. But yeah, what I want to do is not damage the states that we're going to take for ourselves, ideally. What I want to do is damage the states they'll be left with. And if we take a look at population, maybe that's the more sensible way to do it. Look at, well, GDP. So what we want to do is try to damage New York, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, basically. And we want to not damage the states that will become New Africa or the states that will become us. That seems good. Wow, gold is 69% of California's GDP just with 5 gold fields. That's kind of crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to naval invade over here. They have some fleets, but they suck because they're cheaping out on the number of man o' wars. Whereas here we are with 25, going up to 25 man o' wars right off the coast. So the Tsar's Lance with a open terrain commander. He's bigoted. What does that do? As a commander. Yeah, more offense. Cool. We're going to invade. And let's not bandy about. Let's go straight to New York. With the first fleet. Let's see how that goes. Nice. Their fleet is officially too weak to contest the landing. Love to see that. Yep, an essentially uncontested landing. The occasional absolute rout of the American fleet. And yoink. Oh, hello. The land is worthless. Let the Americans have it in exchange for 600,000 gold. Absolutely not. Obviously not. What are you talking about? No, I think it may hide riches yet. So we're not going to do that. And also, I remembered that one of my generals, I think it's you, or is it you? One of these guys, you, have the pillage command, which causes 100% more devastation. So if you wouldn't mind just heading up to the Tsar's Lance for me. It's going to take 5 weeks for them to arrive, but that's okay. And in the meantime, we may just defend on this front. No, we should probably keep advancing. Well, no, yeah, we're going to defend on this front until that general arrives, and then we're going to pillage our way through the northeastern American area, which should be should be pretty damaging. These guys can swap to blockading. We got 100% blockade here yet? We do indeed. Look at that. Down to 25%. Very nice. A radical petit bourgeoisie wouldn't be the worst. We are kind of set there, unfortunately. Already full on people. The professional army, by the way, is just never going to happen. It did get to consideration on a 15% chance, but that is the third and final setback. So, not going to happen. Off to the fire with the whole notion. Which does put us in contravention of our treaty with Austria, which is a problem. I don't know exactly what that's going to mean, but we'll see. Do we put the National Guard in? It would rile up the liberal movement, which might be useful. Because then we'd be able to have... gives more political strength for servicemen and officers, which is probably good. Because servicemen... Who are servicemen and officers tending to support? Servicemen are mostly armed forces, then orthodox. And officers... mostly armed forces, then gentry. Armed forces, I think, are kind of... they're relatively good in terms of what laws they want. Because of loyalist. I mean, yeah, jingoist is also kind of nice. So, yeah, I think... I mean, it would cost us so much bureaucracy. Which is why I was considering as one of my companies, by the way, the paper company. Because prestige paper would give you a 20% throughput. And because paper's the only input on bureaucracy, I'm pretty sure it would just give you a flat 20% throughput on bureaucracy buildings. Which would be pretty nice, because a lot of your bureaucracy costs comes from government administration. So that could be fun. For less, less good for the kind of overall... Here comes the general. Less good for the overall industrializing point, but still. Could be good. Oshimba deactivated. What? That's not what this is called, is it? Honest work? Oh, it's this one. Oh, they got way less happy. Oh, right, because we're not trying to enact the bill anymore. Yeah, law commitment contravened. So I think our treaty with the Austrians may just break. But we'll see how we can do there. So can we get anyone else in government that would let us pass? I mean, unacceptable is so bad. But do we really just give it another crack? What about if the Orthodox weren't in here? I don't think there's going to be any way to make an acceptable government. No. Do we just give another 15% crack at per capita taxation? It would be good. Bringing in the per capita tax for non-peasant pops, relieving some of the burden on the peasants, as well as obviously getting the income tax rate in there. Let's give it a crack. Who knows? Might get lucky. Okay, so now we have this guy. Pillage, my man. Pillage. Let us roam around these parts. The fact that they're not here to fight us is going to reduce our ability to do damage, I think. Because actually fighting battles in the area is part of what caused devastation. But I think, yeah, being occupied does slowly increase it as well. And once we get here, we will have someone to fight. By the way, your objective is Ohio. Whoops. I didn't see what that was. Did France abrogate a treaty? I think we did have one other treaty with France. Unfortunate. I don't know what that was. Oof. France has broken the Paris Investment Agreement in violation of the standing binding period. So I'm pretty sure that means they are now... Whoa, look at that. Infamous. Up to 49 infamy against France. Interesting. Whoa, and Russia... No, hang on. I think that was showing wrong. Russia sees us as a potential threat, probably because of our infamy. Well, I mean, they're not wrong, are they? Militarily threatening neighbor, natural enemy. Yeah. Is there any way I can convince you that that's not the case? Could I renegotiate our defensive pact into a full-on alliance? They don't like the idea. No matter. If they turn against us, then maybe we help Austria attack them, which could be useful. Okay, we are finally fighting them, and they have pretty good defense, to be honest. So I think I'm going to stop pillaging for a moment here while my reinforcements arrive. At which point, I think we'll be in a better place to blitz our way through. We're still doing pretty well here, but those casualty ratios are unacceptable, I would say. But with the reinforcement of the Tsar's bow and the Tsar's sword, I hope... Oh, for goodness sake. That's so dumb. They took this route, which means they were temporarily exiled, which means their organization has absolutely tanked. Thanks for that. Confusion and delay. Nuts. Ooh, this is kind of good. Peasant movement gets mad, bureaucracy down, but we get 25% lower enactment time just during this law, and we get 10% more activism from the peasant movement. Problem is, they're passive. The problem with activism is that they're meant to help you pass laws, right? When they're really active. But as soon as you start passing the law they want, they go passive again. So they don't help. And I'm not going to be able to annoy them enough. But the enactment time doesn't really make it any more likely to pass. So sure, give me the authority and give them a boost. Maybe I should be supporting the peasant movement as well, actually. But yeah, I just don't think we're going to be able to get them active enough. Nice. Okay, so we're back up to full organization. My pillager, resume your pillaging ways. Let's see if we can do it with a new backup. I suspect we can. It might be a bit grinding, but I mean, the longer we keep these buildings occupied, oh my god, the devastation is going to get pretty good. The mortality is going to get pretty high. And these places are all struggling to employ because they've got no world market access. So all their output goods aren't going anywhere. And indeed, we are pushing through much nicer looking casualty ratios. That's what we like. 2 good events in a row. That's pretty nice. Ooh, we could just jump ahead of a tier, but no. I think we go enactment success chance and enactment time. And all we have to do is annoy the petty bourgeoisie who are already thrilled because we're doing this per capita taxation. Nice. This now has pretty darn good odds, honestly. The casualty rates are not looking as good as they were over here in America, but there are lots and lots of Russians willing to die to ruin America's day. So I don't think it's a big deal. Big day. Big day for our colonial efforts. Quinine, which we have got. Let me check. Yes, before Britain. No, not before Britain. Darn it. Or before France, but relatively early. Which means we are now going to start singing through here and through here. Very, very nice. We should probably grab the Niger Delta as well. Just so no one else can yoink their way in. Excuse me? 600 days? I don't think so. Really? I guess there's just a lot of people here. That's slow. Without a cause. Oh, please let me get somewhere. Okay. None of it even helps. Well, we will continue to favor the intelligentsia. Just because they're who we need to like us right now, but 600 days for Niger? Niger Delta. Is it? I guess if it's the French colony, it's Niger. If it's just the name of the river and I'm speaking English, it's Niger. Anyway. Britain got the war against these guys, so unfortunate. But yeah, as long as we're not hitting our max, then that should be fine. You want us to embargo Mexico because they're an opponent of American interests. Sure. Whatever you say. Ooh, this could be good. Our Tsar's dead. And he's a traditionalist. And then you guys are market liberal. So welcome. New buy. Market liberal in charge. That will be good. He's a new ruler. Market liberal characters are more likely to appear. The Great Reformer, 10% bureaucracy. Political strength of aristocrats and bureaucrats. A new modernization movement's formed. The Great Reformer. Journal entry. Oh, cool. I do not care too much about this. What's this? You... The Democrat for Petty Bourgeoisie. He really hasn't been achieving much, has he? You could give the liberal movement a boost by doing this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so... I haven't seen these yet. What is the Great Reformer? Complete the 3 entries. So peasant reform. Yeah, tenant farmers agriculture makes sense. You have to have mass conscription for this. Interesting. And no input goods shortages. And bureaucratic reform, you have to have appointed bureaucrats and then one of the better taxation laws. Cool. Okay, this seems fun. We'll use that to track our progress as we go. I certainly don't need them hiding space on my toolbar. There's always way too much that I want to fit in here. There used to be a mod that let you have it in 2 rows, but sadly it doesn't work anymore. I wish you could put other things like laws here would be good. Diplo plays here would be good, but I appreciate not everyone has a screen as wide as mine, so they can't just design around my interests, much as I would like them to. Talk about good timing. We just unlocked better government administration as we get our reformer Tsar in charge, and suddenly I have enough to do some crazy stuff. Let's do that. It's going to cost 12, 18. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot. But let's suddenly get a serious institutional reform going on. That sounds nice. Oh, I didn't even notice. We're now making Russia iron. Nice. From the new Russia company? This piddling little company with 47,000 profit? Hell yeah. Also, it's got something in Alsace-Lorraine, even though they've broken our agreement. I don't know if this can keep building now that it's broken, but the treaty that is, but nice. So Russia iron gives trade advantage, obviously, though we don't really want to be exporting it. But yeah, more importantly, 25% of our prestige goods. Sorry, of our goods. 20% throughput when using prestige goods. That's pretty nice. Where's my iron? Here it is. I guess it'll happen on the next. We're still just burning through America, by the way. Oh, look at that market access. Excuse me? Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, 38% of our iron is now Russia iron. Excellent. And if we take a look at our steel mills, they are using regular iron. I guess you can't really see the breakdown there. Oh, there we go. From 28% prestige good input, 5 more percent. Love it. Love it. The Maasai are rising against us. Huh. You know what? We should have a African army for dealing with things like this. Not African Army 6. Sure. Defensive strategist. Morale recovery. Yeah, this guy seems fine. And then just throw down like 10 barracks over here. And then you can handle this for us. That's actually a really good development. It's going to let us cut across to what will never come to be known as Lake Victoria, if I can help it. Nice. France and Britain are duking it out, by the way, which is pretty nice. A peace deal proposed. You want to, what do you want to do? White peace. Yeah, no. I think not, Nicaragua. I intend to continue burning down America. Look at that. Oh, it's glorious. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, you love to see it. Nice per capita taxation implemented. That is going to spike the standard of living for our peasants. Very, very nice. And now I think we go straight to getting rid of serfdom. Because, and I didn't actually notice this happen, I think it's because of our new king. The leader, old Romanov here, I guess he's a relative, is a market liberal, which means he endorses laissez-faire, he endorses free trade, he endorses commercialized agriculture. So we should go tenant farmers. Now, yeah, the rurals would prefer this, but they're okay with this just because at least it's not serfdom. And we want to go tenant rather than homesteading because we're trying to make a full capitalist build. So yeah, tenant farmers is going to be great because after tenant farmers, we can do public schools. Now, can we actually pass public schools? I doubt it. We might have to do religious schools first because the church don't endorse public schools anyway. So we might have to do religious schools. They're not that bad. What is it? 10% education access versus 12. It's not that bad. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. I love this GDP line. Oh, makes me very happy. It's a big day. It's a big day. Railways. Finally railways. And also the US continues to burn. I mean, look at this. The GDP has just started rising, but oh, it's quite something. It's quite something. Putting that up against them. Look at that decline. It will, of course, recover, but I think it will take a very long time, especially if I just stay here a bit longer. But the time has probably come to demobilize the armies. We spent a huge amount of money on this war. Can we see how much we've spent? Yeah, it cost us £12 million, which is obviously substantial. But it's not that bad, honestly. So let's take the capital. Oh, we can't because it's not on a front. That's funny. I can plan an invasion of it with a fleet, though. So we'll do that, I guess. Meanwhile, Eastern Army, why can't I? Oh, you're probably in a battle. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Go ahead and invade Nicaragua. Let's end the war down there. Good stuff. We will obviously stay well ahead on what has now become one front conflict over here. But yeah, I think it's time to end this war. Stop paying all this money for the troops. But that is a devastating war that is going to permanently neuter, not permanently, but it's going to do a huge amount of damage to the US for a very, very long time. So that's nice. Should be good. Should be very good for us. And yeah, leave them ripe for future funny business, basically. Okay, so I know we were going to go to peace and spend less money and focus on industrializing, but this seems like a really good moment to strike at the Ottomans because they have this slaver revolt, which I have declared that I am neutral about. So if we could win this war real quick so that I can then go to war with the Ottomans and liberate Moldavia, Wallachia, and Serbia, all for no war score cost. And we could, like, liberate Iraq. That could be good. Is Iraq even a thing? Where is liberate country? There it is. We could liberate, yeah, Iraq with Baghdad and Mosul and Syria. If we liberated Iraq and Syria, we could probably get them into our power block. That seems like a pretty good move to me. So I'm going to try and end this war so we can demobilize some of our troops. And that is our capture of the capital. So they will start accepting this very soon. Yep, there they go. Okay, so there's the final end of the war. Cost 14 million, 300,000 dead Americans, 160,000 dead Ruskies, and quite a lot of starvation. Look at that. Pretty nice. Anyway, peace. Boom. Now we get some true horrible border gore. Poor huddled masses. Cultural migration target one of your states. I think that's because there is an ongoing one in one of the states we just took. Yes, indeed. That's funny. And it will keep going for a while, even though we haven't This isn't an integral part. We didn't take this just because it was barely colonized when the war started, and I didn't want to have to take it and then do a separate war to get them to revoke their claim on it. So next war we'll take that and a bit more land around here. Welcome to the world, New Africa. By the way, I'd love to give you a power block embassy. Sure, and take on your non-existent debt. No, you do have debt. Interesting. Debt is tied to the buildings. I didn't know that. How interesting. But yeah, sucks to suck, America. Not under 10 million GDP. You call yourself a great power. What an embarrassment. I'd like trade privileges and investment rights. I think that's probably all we're going to ask for. This is the Treaty of, I don't know, Southern Prosperity or something. It's the treaty that, the Treaty of Independence. Seems good. Welcome to the world, New Africa. I would love to have you in my power block. We do have an interest in Dixie, of course. There we go, the Treaty of Independence. And I'm just going to spell treaty names wrong and pretend it's a joke. Yeah, that should give us enough to invite them in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now the armies all demobilize, which is good, which means our economic situation on goods for military buildings are going to get wildly better. And then we remobilize them because we do our own new play to liberate subjects. Good. We're going to force it to become a play, because I don't want them backing down. We will liberate Wallachia and Serbia. Could liberate Tunis and Tripolitania, but I don't think that's really important for us right now. I definitely don't want them backing down and not letting us do those, so we'll put that in there. And then we'll also liberate Bosnia-Herzegovina. How many maneuvers we got left? 50. So we can only liberate one country. Probably Iraq. No, we shouldn't do Iraq when it's not including Bahrain. Sorry, Basra. Is this where Bahrain is as well? I'm not sure. How do you see what cores there are on a province? Anyway, I'll figure out what the rest of the war goal is going to be. Okay, that's what we're going with. Return some land to Greece. Humiliate. Liberate all of these. And if you want to get out of this easily, just don't worry about those two, and then you'll be fine. We're going to bring over the Tsar's lance and the Tsar's bow. Between them, I think that will be sufficient to accomplish this. If not, we do have... didn't I just mobilize you? No, it's the lance I mobilized. If that's not enough, we will be able to bring more over. In fact, let's do the Eastern Army as well. I think they're going to spend quite a long time returning home. But yeah, to keep our costs relatively low, I'm going to try and avoid mobilizing everybody. They backed down. Nice. Unfortunately, that means we did spend some infamy, because I didn't add this to the primary war goals, but that's fine. Serbia, Wallachia, Moldova all exist. Only Cordial is seems a little outrageous, but I'm hopeful that we can get enough influence on all of them. I'll get some treaties in place. All right, here they come. 3 treaties. Should all be on the same day. There we go. And now, look at that. Massive influence over them, and then we will use the the power block mechanic to just yoink all of them as subjects. Should be good. Also, I've started a very slow colonization effort down here in Nama. The idea being that I want to try and get access in here on this side, and then if we conquer Gaza and Transvaal, then we'll be in good shape to try and cut this whole Congo region off as a Russian region, which will be obviously very, very nice. Boom.
Everyone likes
Tenant,
Dino, right?
excuse me, Nick. That's not what I meant to unpause. Tenant farmers. Nice. Very nice indeed. Now, obviously, it would have been better if we'd got commercialized agriculture, but we haven't invented mutual funds. And we can actually still do commercialized agriculture. Nice. Gentry Assembly is still in favor of that. Excellent. The Great Reformer is now making progress. So they need rifling, mass conscription, appointed bureaucrats. Bureaucrats are probably a good place to focus next, although we could go laissez-faire. Now, laissez-faire, the thing about interventionism these days is what? What's the advantage here? No, that seems terrible. Ah, you forbids monopolies, but I don't understand monopolies anyway. So let's go laissez-faire. That seems phenomenal. Is there anything else that would be really good right now? I like autocracy because our leader happens to be, very helpful right now. So I think we stick with autocracy. It'd be a nightmare to pass anything else anyway. Appointed bureaucrats would be good, but the gentries don't like it right now. Professional army we could have another crack at. So for peasant levies, we really need mass conscription for that. Which, yeah, the gentry don't love. I'd rather not be on mass conscription. It seems way worse than professional army. You miss out on the 100% experience gain. The 100% training rate is pretty sick, though. That means you replenish your losses really fast. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. That's pretty cool. But yeah, for now, our brief stint on agrarianism comes to an end. Welcome to the wonderful world of laissez-faire, which will allow us to pump even more construction, which is going to be great. Very much looking forward to that. And our reinvestment should spike as well. Marvelous. And so now we're just rooting for the slaver revolt, basically, because they'll weaken the Ottomans. Looks like the slaver revolt is going to win. Who backed them? Austria, yeah. It looked like Austria was going to back them. And here goes... not yet. Let's let it build up a little bit more, just so we have a more secured chance of getting them to join us. With the conquest of this last tiny little bit of Hormuz, so we now have a Russian Hormuz down here. Are there any useful buildings here? Not really. I'll probably just give this to Persia then, because it's not like it is what gives us this region. We already have this bit. So here, Persia, I got a present for you. How do you do this? Overlord actions. Grant state. Can't because we're in a diplomatic play. Darn. Anyway, we completed the Secure Persia entry, which gives us another yoink along the Great Game. So this is now progressing at 3.7 a year, and we're just about to wrap up the Caucasus, which will also be a progression. So we'll win, and we'll finally find out what winning does. I think it gives you some cohesion, which will be helpful. Oh, speaking of cohesion... Oh, they want in. Welcome, Moldova. Welcome, Wallachia. Serbia, a little slower, but they are very much on their way. Welcome to the bloc. Glorious. Validates the treaties, but that's not a problem. Wow. Confederate States of America. Welcome. Welcome to the world, Confederates. They still went for the Civil War. Even with New Africa independent, I would love to back them. It would be pretty funny, right? We created this this African-American primary culture, New Africa, and then we side with the Confederacy. But I don't think we're going to do it. We could get them in our block if we did, though. It would be pretty funny, but I think, unfortunately, Britain seems to be stuck in this war with Hindustan forever, by the way. So I'm not sure what's happening there. But, yeah, what do they sway them in with, by the way? Nothing, just call ally, I guess. But yeah, I don't think it's worth us fighting a huge war against America and England just for liberating these states from America. I mean, it's quite a lot of people, though, isn't it? Like 5 million people that we could almost certainly get into our power block and thereby... Oh, maybe we should, you know. Oh, hang on. I bet we can't because we have a truce. Yeah, no, okay. It's moot. It's moot. Fine. Never mind. Industrially, by the way, what we're up to is some subsidized fertilizer and explosive factories here as we transition over to using nitroglycerin in all our mines, which seems pretty good. And yeah, just about to win in the Caucasus. Okay, there we go. The emanates end. So do we want peace, less conversion, but they chill out? Or no peace, While Shamil is still revered. I don't know who that is, and I don't much care, but yes, I would like to integrate them. The earth opened its mouth. We will delay. So shouldn't that complete Persian border? Because this will finish? No, because there is turmoil in the States still. But it's probably, okay, I was going to say it's probably dropping. It actually rose quite dramatically in Dagestan. Oh, but I should have chosen the other, I probably should have chosen the other choice here. But on the bright side, these are all going to hire up now and they'll have access to our market. That'll probably put them in a good way. We could hire a bunch of people into the barracks just as a way to basically pay people. In fact, that's already happening. And that will give them a bunch of money. So hopefully we'll bring that back under control. If we don't, I think we're just going to win this anyway, because we control 75% of the whole region. Britain has made absolutely no efforts to gain control here. Meanwhile, just trying to keep infantry relatively high to keep things ticking down. Prussia's still a bit wary. We need to get our infantry below 25 so that Russia chills out, basically. Oh, well, that sucks. Our heir has died. He was our reformer intelligentsia. He would have been so good. What do we get instead? A traditionalist. Okay. We're going to abolish the monarchy, and it's your fault, basically. Oh, that's annoying. We are going to get laissez-faire, almost certainly, though, soon. Also, I'm trying to get up here so that we can try and colonize here, so we can cut Britain off from getting around into this Africa this way. Ooh, hello. Prussia is calling us in for an obligation. Interesting. Who's going to back who? I'd rather back you for something else. Let's have a look. Ah, I see the problem. Austria is backing one side. So what about if we went for, yeah, something like this? I don't think I can liberate country on a country that we're allied with. Yeah, Austria is busy in a war, but I really don't want to damage our relations with Austria just to try and improve relations with Prussia right now. So no, we're staying out of European conflict. We're not trying to get involved in death and destruction. That's for the Americas. 70%? Laissez-faire? Fingers crossed. I like our odds. 15%. So close. 86%. There we go. Laissez-faire. Forced privatization, which means I can stop clicking the button, which is good. We reinvest all dividends. And we should see, it might have already recalculated, but 165,000 reinvestment. We were at 140 when we started passing it. It should be higher than that. 220. That is what I'm talking about. Very nice. Very nice indeed. We are industrializing, as one might expect. We're finally getting a local munitions plant going. There's nationalism, which is going to do all kinds of things. Codify the Chinese border by, yeah, codify it by just owning a bunch of stuff. And then 100% of eligible states worldwide, which is just this bit, basically, right? Consolidate. Merv, here, yeah. Basically, just take that state, partly from China. Okay, and I think we now get... Isn't there something to give us claims on China that comes up? Ruler of the East gets... Oh, options. Cool. We'll worry about that next session, though. I was going to do... We're just going to win the great game first, and then we'll worry about ruler in the East. I wonder if these things will go away once we win the great game. Embargo against the Ottomans to support American interests. Well, I don't love it, but it will help the opinion of the petit bourgeoisie, which I do like. So that's good. Empty pockets on who? The Sunni rights movement. Yeah, don't care about that. Well, actually, maybe I should care about that. Because presumably you endorse... no, they're traditionalists. Darn. Yeah, we'll just keep delaying in the fog. But yes, we have laissez-faire, which is very nice. I really hope that's going to help our companies some. Speaking of our companies, these guys are really struggling. Maybe... I don't know, we can't do monopoly rights anymore, can we? Maize farms won't help. We only have one. We could let them colonize somewhere, but I don't think that's going to help. This company is just kind of terrible. We could disband it. How could I help this company? I guess build a bunch of farms. And then they'll have something to buy, basically. I guess that is what it comes down to. I'll try that and see... Like, are there any particularly profitable farms we could be making for them? Because they can own wheat and rye. There's some kind of pretty profitable farms. How about rye? Rye, even more profitable. Alright, let's experiment with it. Like, if I build a huge... Oh, hang on, this is using up more infrastructure than there is in Kursk. And we're doing other stuff that's more important than Kursk anyway. If we build... Yeah. A lot of farms here, such that it has a really big throughput bonus. We can have up to 30 on our throughput bonus now. I accidentally sprinkled a bunch in Kursk there. Whoops. Okay, so a whole bunch of them here, where we have this nice black soil. We have the Volga River and so on. It's definitely privatized. Yeah, it's on the best thing it can be on. Yep. It's got the farming, and with the fertilizers artificially cheap. It's already actually struggling to hire. So, yeah, I just feel like this company is not destined for success. But we'll try building all those, see if it buys them all up. If they just get bought up by manor houses, I'm going to give up on this company. We'll get rid of it. We'll replace it with something else. Right, but I need to go to bed from your perspective. The next bit will be in just a moment. But I have stayed up slightly too late in order to get laissez-faire. But I need to remember public schools. Oh no, we can't do public schools because we still have state religion. And I'm not going to be able to get rid of state religion because only the intelligentsia back it. No. Okay, so religious schools then. I guess. Can we put intelligentsia and... Sorry, not intelligentsia, industrialists and Orthodox Church in? We can, but it's not a good time. I think I'd rather roll the dice on this. But yeah, we need a freaking schooling system. It's becoming absurd. It boosts the devout strength, which is not ideal, but... And a 15% is by no means a guarantee, but hopefully we'll be able to get that done. Meanwhile, yeah, just frantically racing to try and cut the British off. They haven't actually started an Equatorial colony yet. That's good. Yes, that's the right direction. Come on, cut them off. Cut them off. We can but hope. Meanwhile, by the way, we did get Industrialization 2, which is a little bit more of this, and we're supporting the modernization movement, which would obviously be extremely good. Ooh, industrialist retired. Modernizer, that's what I'm talking about. Nice. Good stuff. So, as they always do, the diplomatic sands are shifting beneath us. Prussia has broken our agreements, including our investment agreement, which was still bound for something like 17 more years, which is frustrating. So, our companies are going to have some problems. They haven't nationalized the land. Like these coal mines in the Ruhr, we still own, for example. But that is going to be a problem. And this company, I really don't have high hopes for this company. But anyway, so yeah, Prussia has abrogated the Holy Alliance Treaty that gives us a defensive pact and the investment treaty. They are, yes, thoroughly antagonistic, militarily threatening neighbor, threatened by our infamy. and we're a natural enemy, and our relations have fallen quite dramatically. So, what is a Russia to do? I think what they are to do is turn to France, classic ally of Russia when facing off against those powers. So we have drafted a treaty with, if I may find it here. Where's our treaty? Oh, here it is. It's just already popped out. We're doing a little trade deal with France. And the idea behind this trade deal is that it facilitates an improvement in relations. So we are going to do that. And then once they like us enough, and once our infamy ticks down a little bit, we should be able to ally them, because they are going to view us as a potential protector against both Britain and Prussia, which is very true. And I'm more than happy to allow them to have West Africa if they will help me keep a lid on balance of power in the continent. Now, Austria is also, of course, our ally, but we didn't back them in this war against Prussia. I didn't actually check, what war is this? But yeah, this is just conquering Lubeck and Brazil wanting investment rights in Austria. That's funny. Problem is, Lubeck, Prussia does not have... Oh, the game crashed. All I was doing was zooming in and out. As I was saying, having renegotiated that treaty with France, frustratingly, we have a treaty with France, which basically just involves us swapping some mostly luxury goods, but also a couple of minor levels of some industrial goods. And the hope is that that will improve our relations enough that we can then get them on side. But yes, Austria's problem is that this is a war over Lubeck, which is, of course, right here. Prussia doesn't have access to Lubeck. So Prussia is going to burn Austria down. Which can cause huge devastation in Austria, just the same way we caused huge devastation in the US. My hope is that in doing so, Prussia will bankrupt itself by being at war for much longer than it would otherwise be. Another thing we need to do, by the way, because I did this before it crashed, is incorporate our American holdings. But yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem, because I don't want Austria to get majorly weakened. But if it is going to get majorly weakened, we may have to step in, liberate Hungary, make that part of the power bloc, something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, a French alliance will provide the balance of power that we need. I have to imagine French military tech is below. Oh, they've got some pretty good armies. Yeah, okay. And Prussia, how are you doing? Of course, once Prussia unifies Germany, which they look... Yeah, they got really good armies. 40. What are we sitting at? 31. On the defensive, we might be okay, but that is troubling. I would like... What are you? Oh, you're intelligentsia. Yeah, I'll definitely promote you then. Yeah, and on the law front, we're just crossing our fingers for religious schools. We have... This is our third 15% law in a row. And, hello. My dog's come to visit me. We failed the first one, passed the second one. Third time lucky. We'll see. Prussia's war with Austria ended. I think they white peaced. It was for... Wait, but now Prussia owns Lubeck. What? What is going on there? Okay, so now they're going after Schleswig-Holstein. I do think one thing I should do is check what the requirements are for them to fall from the North German Federation. Because now that they are our rival, and they did rival us, so we rivaled them back, we should perhaps specifically attempt to stop them. But do I dare mobilize my armies and fight Prussia right now? We have a fair amount of debt. I know you're not supposed to worry about that, but I'm worried about that. I don't think I can fight Prussia right now, but I mean, when, if not now, then when? When they're unified? The answer is when we can get France to help, basically. And if I back them, Great Britain might well back them. Yeah, I think I need France, basically. Okay, so the war is heating up. The Ottomans joined, as we suspected they might. But we can hold them off, that's no problem. Presumably they added a war goal on us. Yes, they want a regime change in Finland. Literally does not matter at all. Problem though, we have a major ammunition shortage. I guess because suddenly the whole world needs ammunition. And we were buying it from Prussia before. So we might get rolled early on here because all of our divisions are going to get massive ammunition shortages. So my hope is, the war goal is West Prussen here, which I guess is how you say that, Danzig. So we're going to start with a desperate advance into Danzig. And I feel like we might make some early gains and then get quagmired, which sounds very familiar. But on the bright side, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to entirely blockade Prussia from the world market, which would be devastating for them. So there's that. Also, we got 10% on the religious schools, which is nice. Oh, thank goodness. We found somewhere to buy it. Qing, we're buying it from Qing. Qing and France, plus my munition plants that we built are now finally employing up a bit. We've subsidized them. I've built many more in other parts of the country, so... And yeah, initial results in Danzig are very favorable because they're prioritizing these other fronts. So, seeming promising. Budget, less so. Initial results, pretty good. We're into Danzig. We're barely holding in Schleswig-Holstein. I think they are going to get Holstein, but if we can liberate Danzig, I assume that will hurt their ability. I've remembered, by the way, I'm pretty sure the way that their unification works is they have to have a certain share of the states. So maybe we should have tried to take away just more states, but it looks like we're going to be able to push into their capital here. If we can make them surrender before Holstein does, that would be good, but it seems unlikely, right? I mean, they're pushing right into the... In fact, have they already taken? No, they're pushing into that capital there. And yeah, we're barely holding. Barely holding at all here. We could send another of our armies over there, but... Oh, I'm not on... Oh, no, I am on blockade. Okay, good. I was going to say that would be bad. But yeah, this area is completely blockaded. This area is not, but it's cut off here anyway. So it looks like they weren't trading anyway. I guess they were doing their trade through here. No, there's no market. Were they not trading with the world market? Or maybe they have access through someone else, but anyway. Yes, nice, 15% on religious schools as well. And yeah, we're easily holding against the Ottomans there. Oh, I did forget about Greece. But there's no war goal. There is a war goal on Greece. Okay, that's problematic. Okay, you... And it's actually the Prussians down here. Nuts. Okay. Well, we're going to have to send this army down here and take one of these armies to man this front. That's unfortunate. I completely didn't realize that they'd added a transfer Greece war goal. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they nicked Greece, but it would be annoying, so hopefully these guys can stop them there. Yep, so there's the war goal enforced on Denmark, unfortunately. These guys are now in exile, so I can't tell them where to go. There we go. Yeah, a lot of people died trying to hold Denmark together there. Oh, and it did just form during the war. That's problematic. Are we the war leader now? Yeah, that's not ideal. That's not ideal. But all we have to do is hold the current front, and their war exhaustion will go negative. We should perhaps do the same thing we did to America. Try and occupy and devastate some of this land. And yeah, France are too cautious. I think a straight-up alliance with France is the right play here. I think that's the way to go. We're going to keep advancing until we can't. And also, we do now have them blockaded, which is nice. But yeah, we're going to keep advancing until we can't, and then we'll hold the line and see if we can just damage them, basically. I think that's the right approach. Okay, looks like we can get an alliance with France now. They're seeing us beating up Germany, and they're worried about the North German Federation, as they should be. So we can bind that up for quite a long time. We'll sell them some industrial goods, They'll give us some primary goods. This should hopefully weaken the landowners a little by diminishing the profit from their ranches. We also get investment rights to replace our German investment rights. Can I get trade privileges as well? I can. Beauty. Nice. Meanwhile, yeah, the war with Germany is going well. We forced the Ottomans to capitulate. No problems there. Unification of Italy is kicking off, by the way. Not sure which way it will go. Austria backing two Sicilies. The US backing Sardinia, Piedmont. So we'll see. We'll see. Meanwhile, yeah, we're not... Oh, we are helping on the offense here. You blocking forces. You only assist Russian armies. But yes, we're just seeing what we can do. We've got all of the people in Brandenburg right now are starving, as are all of the people here, as are all of the people here, almost all of the people here, which is good. Sorry, mean, but good. So we will be seeing what we can do to damage the North German Federation as much as possible in this war. And economically, it's seeming very viable for us right now. I think because, yeah, we're only using 160 of our construction right now. All the rest is towards the private queue. Oh, we got religious schools. Oh my goodness me. Crank that education. Nice. That's going to be really good because our literacy is still ghastly. Oh. Ah, because we had Danzig occupied, of course. Okay, well, never mind. There ends that war. Still, that's good. That's good. And we have, yeah, infamy coming down, so we need to find a way to spend it against some unrecognized powers. Okay, so we were waiting for a time when we could be on France's side. It's a shame that they declared this on France. Will Austria back? Austria doesn't have an interest in France, and the play is technically happening in France, so Austria can't get involved. Interesting. The minor states, except Bavaria, have sided with France. We are absolutely going to back France. Economic situation looking a bit better. Industrializing pretty rapidly in a couple of few core states now. Us supporting them might encourage Britain to support Germany. So arguably we should support them at the latest possible moment. But I don't think we're going to do that because France might back down, which would be bad. If France wins... Liberation of Holstein and Frankfurt, and they're cut down to size. Now, what have they gained via conquest in the last 10 years? I don't know exactly. Oh, by the way, I didn't even notice. Here's the Danzig that we released. I completely forgot to get them in our power block, which was kind of the whole deal. Let's see if we can do that now. I assume they're in this war. Give us a power block embassy and so forth. We'll see if we can get Danzig in our block going forwards. But for now, it's a shame that Austria can't come in. So what do we want? Transfer states. They'd give us French Togo or French Inner Mauritania. I'm okay. We like liberation. Hanover's probably the biggest. Let me have a look here. Okay, frustratingly, I think the only way to see what would be liberated by these liberate demands is by sending them and then hovering here, which is, you know. Anyway, so Rhineland seems like the best one. This is 10 million GDP and 4.5 million people. The other option is Saxony, which is 11 million GDP, with only 3 million people, or Hanover. But I think if we liberate Rhineland, we should then be able to sway Rhineland into our sphere of influence. They do border France. How much does bordering matter much? Don't think so, otherwise it would show up here. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, being adjacent to 150. But we wouldn't be adjacent to Saxony either. So I think releasing Rhineland does a lot to clamp down on potential industrialization. The only thing is that Hanover is already more industrialized. So I think Hanover would be our next thing that we would do to try and weaken the North German Federation, because these guys are scary. But us plus France, I think we have a good chance. Okay, here's the war. Seems promising. I think... Oh, they also put liberate Mecklenburg, Pomerania, and Hamburg in there. That's really good. That's really very good. Now, I do not think we're in a good place to launch an offensive on this front. But let's look at the numbers. Yeah, no, we're not in a good place to launch an offensive on this front. So, only Russian armies are allowed to borrow my troops for now. And you were meant to go to the holding army. Or are you aggressive? You're cruel, yeah, so you should be going to Tsar's Sword, I think. Tsar's Sword is all the way over here, though. Ah, that's okay. Transferring generals between armies is a bit janky, but anyway. And the Tsar's Sword has got next to no organization, which is frustrating because they decided to go through Austria over here, which tanked their organization. But oh well. So yeah, we're gonna just defend. The French and Germans can duke it out a bit here. The Germans, the French have pushed over here and then borrowed our men. Stop that. We need some more time to get ready for this war. But when we're ready, they're in trouble. Okay, narrowly holding, it seems like, in these fights. They are, however... Oh no, we're even holding on all of these. Nice. Okay, so now that our men have reorganized a bit, we are holding the... Oh, we are attacking, huh? Did I actually leave? Oh, I did. I left one of these on attack. Did not mean to do that. Attacking with 40 troops in organization, not the best idea. But over here in the east, we're just trying to spend some of our stuff. I thought we were going to get the Great Game, but actually, I don't really understand what the bar does. It seems meaningless. I imagine maybe it affects the type of outcome you get when it actually ends, but it only ends if we own all of the region, all of the country in these regions, which includes a whole load of Qing. So the Great Game only works if we actually conquer. What is this? Not that many people off Qing, I guess, but so we'll get around to that at some point. But yeah, I'm just going to spend my infamy with our little African army while we do this over here. By the way, can we talk about the fact that in this bar, they're red, we're blue, and in this bar, we're red. Sorry, in this bar, they're red and we're blue, and in this one, we're blue and they're red, because it switches when you're attacking or defending, but there's no way to know by looking at the icon who's attacking and who's defending. Very silly. Okay, I think we have a play. I've brought in our best aggressive commanders. We have fully organized the army. They're just taking a very long time to traverse across Danzig. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. Okay. And now they've focused on this front. They think the Belgian, the Bardernese, the Württembergian are the real threat, but they're wrong. The true threat comes from this guy. Simple advance front. Straight to Berlin. Let's see how this goes. Oh, it's a promising start. It's a promising start when 19 of their regiments show up to defend and are immediately beaten back. And then a second battle starts with the French, and even the French are pushing through. Glorious. Germans redeploying to this front, but it's going to be closer. It's going to be closer, but we've taken Schlesien off them, which has a fair chunk of their industrial base. So with any luck, that will mean that we can push on through. And the attacking army still has this as a war goal, so hopefully they'll stop fighting in West Preussen and start fighting over here. And just in time, we're going to get a professional army in place, which will be good. Meanwhile, yeah. Well, you have 11 men, huh? It's not going to be enough, I'm afraid. Ah, I see a further problem. The whole front has merged. That's interesting. I think that might work out just fine, though. The problem is we're in a race. We need to avoid them taking Alsace-Lorraine before we take their capital. And they are putting up a very serious fight now that the two fronts have merged. Damn, I didn't expect them to merge. To try and avoid front splitting annoying people, they've created some very aggressive front merging. Maybe a naval invasion would be the play. Like, what if the Eastern Army invaded in here? It's worth a try. I'm ceasing the offensive on this front and hoping that we can make something happen with the naval invasion because, yeah, I mean, none of the attacks against them when they're all unified have been going well at all. That's pretty good. They are a bit exhausted. Oh, that's a really high defense stat as well. It's looking relatively promising. And we did just get professional army, which will help our morale recovery. If we can just get in here. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. We lost the first battle because me bringing in more troops caused them to suddenly be undersupported, but having rededicated the first fleet. Come on. Come on. Come on, man. 8-1. 8-1. A nice aggressive maneuver. Demoralize them. That looks pretty promising. If they don't move people off this main front to defend it, I think we're in a good place. And if they do, then we can probably make more progress attacking along other fronts. We need 3 more like that, though. Anything they try at sea is obviously doomed. It's going to be close. We could also get a National Guard going. I kind of don't want a National Guard because I don't want to reduce the activism of... Ooh, you're in need of a new commander. Yeah, I don't want to do the National Guard because I don't want to reduce the activism of political movements because I think we're going to need a political movement to get rid of the Tsar. Or more specifically, to get rid of the Tsar's son. 60 defense, but come on. These kind of numbers. The Lancers pour ashore. I believe in us. Damn it. We're not being able to land here. And we're not making headway here. Okay. We have one last chance. Cancel the invasion. These guys, they're automatically going that way, which is going to lower the organization. This whole new organization thing seems kind of broken, if you ask me. Anyway, we are going to advance. Not using him. Where's my expert advancer? It's you, right? No, you? Where is he? The Tsar's bow? I have a great... There we go. Experienced, offensive, planner, and cruel. You advance. Oh, now they're going from here to here, which is going to tank their organization. Alright, don't advance yet. Don't advance yet, then. Oh, maybe we do anyway. Well, it's him, so we can't do it anyway. But yeah, we need to attack, because right now, France is accepting a white peace. Now, I don't know if that means they'll do it immediately, but I'm pretty sure this war is going to get white peaced unless we make a serious play here. So, Berlin is the objective. We're very close. They have substantially better defense, but we do have a far, far larger force. So, we'll see. We'll see. This is not my concern. Cross your fingers. Here goes the attacks. That looks good. Oh, sorry, that's actually them attacking. Yeah, so their attack is being successfully blunted. But the Tsar's bow has dropped its attack to 12. Yeah, okay. Stay on defense for a second. If they can wear themselves out on an attack while we get our org back, then once the organization's back, we hit them. Maybe, just maybe. Okay, I think now is the time to strike. They launched a massive offensive into Alsace-Lorraine. It completely failed. Unfortunately, we still have the problem of these gits losing all their organization when they lost the, the naval invasion here and decided to walk here and then walk to Danzig straight through enemy lines. It's better than teleporting generals, is the lie that I tell myself. So you switch from the Eastern Army to the Tsar's sword, which will require you to be promoted. And now the Tsar's sword advance the front. While they're all before they can replenish. See, look how many of them are dying in Alsace-Lorraine right now. And while they're all dying, we launch our massive offensive. There's an Austrian radical revolt that they want us to join in on. Really? We should. I think we did. Actually, you're going to win this anyway. But we do accept. I should have checked who else was in this war, huh? Yeah, the Ottomans. Okay. Okay. That's a problem. That is a problem. And they're definitely not going to back down because they're a civil war. Okay, so now we have to win this, and soon, otherwise we're going to get invaded by the Ottomans. That's not good. I'm going to leave my men here. The only hope is if we take Berlin. We're not taking Berlin. We can't capitulate. Well, are they actually taking anything from us? Yeah, they want Riga and Dorpat. Return. Come on. Just because Prussia has some legacy of the Teutons, has some legacy of the Livonians. What are you talking about? Return. Ridiculous. Okay, this attack is not working. So, new plan. I need the holding and blocking forces. Oh, but this is all one front. Okay, so I only need one army to hold back the enemy here. So the holding force redeploys down here. And the offensive stops. Our only hope is we win the war against the Austrian revolt, and then we return to the other war. That seems bad, right? Is Prussia in here? Sorry, not Prussia. North German Federation. Can I see how many loans they have based on this? They have none. Darn. Otherwise it would have contributed to the neutrality value. Okay. Well, yeah. I think the hope is we win the war against the Ottomans and the Austrian radical revolt. The other thing I could do, you know what? I hadn't even really considered this. We've got budget space right now. And I haven't mobilized the men, but I don't think it would help because I think it's the quality that's the problem. But we could increase our attack quite significantly by just getting a load more. Like maybe the Tsar's sword should have an extra 50,000 men in it. And we have, you know, the vastness of Russia shall devour them. Let's do it. Put a bunch more men in this army, and let's see if we can make something happen that way. And if not, we will next time. So yeah, we're going to wildly increase the size of our armies. Like almost double the size of our main offensive forces, I think, basically. And I think, I mean, that's got to leave us in a pretty good state, I have to imagine. And then even if we can't win this war, we spent all this time causing starvation and devastation in this province, which is one of their big mines, and they've got some big textile stuff going on here. We've advanced technologically in the meantime. Our industrialization has continued, I have to imagine, at a much better rate than theirs. While this has continued, our people are learning to read. Though theirs can read real well. But, yeah, I think this is not the worst. Could have gone a lot better, obviously, if we'd managed to, yeah, if we'd actually built up our army more first. I'm liking the idea of building and maintaining a much larger army so that we can really throw our weight around in Europe a bit more. Stop these dreams of confederation. Looks like it's going to be a very short war with the Austrian revolt, because their capital is Lombardy, and Austria has already occupied that. Meanwhile, we're just holding the fort down here. Austrians trying to push the front, not succeeding. Meanwhile, a revolt in Danzig, which seems kind of crazy given its size, but has allowed us to subjugate Danzig, so that works. Also, I don't think I ever actually showed this. New Africa did join our bloc, and then, of course, become a protectorate, because that's the nature of our bloc. Also, I think we have a bit longer than I thought. It's capitulation desire, I think, that needs to hit 0 in order for them to accept a white peace. I think. It says they would accept a current peace deal, which is white peace, but I think we have a little bit more time. So hopefully we can let some of this mass mobilization take place. Oh, and we bought the Suez to build the Suez Canal. I didn't mention that. Take place, so hopefully we'll be in a good shape there. We will see. Oh, wow. In fact, pause. These fronts have split. Where are you going? Stationed at the South Germany HQ. I can't because you're in exile. Where are you going? You're just going to stay in this occupied province, huh? That seems suboptimal. But the fronts have split. So now... Oh, so now the Germans are going to push the Belgians. Unless this army... Could you move? Will you move at the end of the month? Sorry, the end of the week? Buddy, you just... Oh, Lambert, his voice calls to me. Don't worry if that doesn't make any sense to you. And we are now failing defenses on lots of these fronts. This is not a front that has... No, that is a problem. I think what I'm going to do is pull this army up here and just hope that the Spanish and Austrians down here can hold the Persian front. They should be winning their war soon anyway. But that is not good. They're going to take Alsace-Lorraine, and as soon as they take Alsace-Lorraine, the war support will start ticking down. Oh, that's not good. At least we got Danzig. You guys go back to Tsar's sword. That works. We could try pushing in here. Now they're kind of occupied on other fronts. But I mean, their advantage hasn't got smaller. We're winning some of these. In fact, we're winning all of them on this front, but once France falls, we're just not going to be in a position to hold on. I can't believe this army is just stuck. Like, what is going on there? I guess what I need to do is transfer the whole army to another army. Cannot, during demobilization, cool down to a mobilized army. You're not demobilized. No military access in Baden. Okay, well, what about... Hey, Baden, could I have military access? No, because you have to have a strategic adjacency. What about hundreds of thousands of men, well, tens of thousands of men in your country? Seems like a good situation to grant access for. Okay, I think this army is just out. I mean, if you demob, it takes 90 days. Okay, so we just have to demobilize them. And then we'll mobilize them again in 90 days. At least that way they're still in the war. And we don't have to pay for them in the meantime. Now, can we push this front? We have a 2-to-1 odds advantage, and they have 5 advantage. I mean, they're winning on the offense against us. But their offense, Jesus Christ, how is your offense so high? Oh, they got shrapnel artillery. Look at this. Oh my god. Prestige shrapnel artillery currently burning its way through us. Okay, well, I've already pivoted to doing rifling. I think we're going to have to focus on... where does shrapnel artillery even come from? Is that this? No? This? Yeah, it's this. Okay. We need to focus military research to come up to parity with Germany, basically. Oh, it's tough. It's tough to be us right now. Okay, there's peace in that one. So Austria is back on very much in our good books, and we are out of that war. So hopefully, I mean, these Persians could come and man this front, but I don't love our odds. Oh, the front has merged again as a result of that. Interesting. That will probably stop their advance into Alsace-Lorraine. But their numbers, I mean, we had 400,000 to 100,000 and we couldn't win. So I don't see a realistic way that we come out of this victorious, basically. We accidentally started one battle and had 70,000 wounded soldiers in Berlin almost immediately. On the bright side, Berlin is starving. Oh yes, that's what I should be doing. You send half your fleet to the second fleet. Sorry, I said half there, but then actually slightly less than half. And then let's go get those blockades back in place. That is something that we should have been doing this whole time. Will make quite a big difference, I think. Good. That will certainly hurt the Germans. And I mean, yeah, they have huge numbers of starving population. Especially here, which will slow them down. The other thing is that I think railways along the front line, like infrastructure level along the front line, affects the number of troops that you deploy into the battle. So we could build, you know, a railway along our German border. That wouldn't be the worst idea anyway. Let's put a railway along the border. We're still constructing these barracks. God, and then that's actually the end of our construction queue. So there's a lot of people coming in there. Also, this thing can be remobilized. Come back to the front. That will help out too. Yeah, maybe a railway so we can get more people into these fights. Bring more of our numbers advantage to bear. But yeah, their advantage on tech is just very difficult. Okay, it's starting. Belgium was forced out. I don't know how it happened. I guess maybe Gellery was occupied. I didn't notice, but it's a problem. We just can't. I mean, our average attack and defense is dropping. Oh, a huge drought in the whole region. Man. I mean, this war's been bad for us. It must suck to be a German right now. Still, less than starving now. Why is your world market access not that bad? Oh, of course, you're not on the coast. But where do you have access to? I guess, yeah, just don't quite have enough to fully blockade them. Also, we're at 0 infamy, which is really wasteful. What could I do with my 28 units here? Could I beat you with them? Probably. Yeah, this works. Let's make Kabul a protectorate. While we're waiting, yeah. No one should get involved. And then we can... we're very close then to finishing our great game with the British. But yeah, this... Southlands, you are on the right front, aren't you? Yeah, you seem like you're at risk of being thrown into the wrong location again. Once our organization's topped off, we might try another offensive, but I just don't know. I just don't know if it'll work. In fact, I feel confident that it won't. What could we do? We could do, like, violate sovereignty on someone. Or, yeah, I mean, Denmark is our subject. If we reduce autonomy on Denmark, would they suddenly be in the war on our side and we'd have an open front we could charge through? I think we might. But unify with null state. I don't see any way out. This is the forever war. We're just going to be in this war forever. We have always been at war with the German Federation. Okay. It's not impossible. They are again launching attacks. Ooh, they're actually winning some of them. Kind of assumed they would be losing all of these. That's bad. Looks like they're losing most of them. A blunder here is going to cost us. But most of them they're losing. So the balance of power on the front is shifting back in our favor. But, I mean, even with our massive recruitment effort, we just can't overcome this offense-defense difference. These attacks that the Germans are launching are going pretty badly for them. I mean, if you look at the numbers, I think they're losing men faster than we are. But it's, I mean, it's costing us. Alsace-Lorraine is 69% occupied. Oh, nuts. And they are winning up there in Prussia. Ooh, what's this? Yes, absolutely. Anything that gives me tech advantage. We are working our way. I mean, in 4 years, we'll have shrapnel artillery. So if we keep this all going for 4 years, which actually, you know what? It's not that bad, because as long as we can keep it going, because by then we'll be back down to 0 infantry. Also, Britain's invading France over some meaningless colonies, which is very annoying and is going to hurt us, probably. But we will see. We are just holding. I hope not. Oh, yes, and because winning those victories, we are freeing up a little bit of Alsace-Lorraine. How is the population of this place doing, by the way? Oh my god. 18% yearly mortality, huh? That's pretty high. That's pretty high. Blimey. We win. What? Why? All countries. Oh, the country must mean capital. Nice. Through intrigue, deft diplomacy, and decisive warfare, we've brought the great game to a favourable conclusion. Our victory has brought Russia glory and Great Britain humiliation. Even British newspapers are saying it. Bouts of revanchism. 25% prestige for 20 years. Is that it? I thought we got like a cohesion bonus. How annoying. Never mind. Still, 25% prestige. It's good for trade, but I think it only matters rank, not actual literal number of prestige. I could be wrong. So it only matters if we can actually overtake Great Britain. And how are we doing on that, by the way? That's interesting. It's because of this thing. I can just go to the ledger. Yeah, GDP exceeds Great Britain. Their standard of living is quite a bit higher. So what's giving you all this prestige? Probably subjects. Yeah, GDP is subjects. That makes sense, because when you add in the Raj, they're doing pretty well. But our population is up there. 1.7% yearly pop growth. It's pretty nice. And I have brought in some new taxes targeting the middle class, transportation and services, which both pad our budget, helping us pay for our massive military expenditures in the Forever War, but also it means that the middle class's standard of living doesn't increase too much. And we want their standard of living to be as close. I mean, there are lots of reasons why you'd want them to have more standard of living, but one reason why you'd want them to have closer to 15 standard of living is that's when they have the most kids. The great game successfully completed. Or maybe this is what gives us the bonus. Got the achievement. Does that give a bonus here? Doesn't look like it. Do I have a bonus here? Victor in the great game. Oh, it decays down steadily. Okay. Cool. No worries. And that closes. It doesn't get rid of the continue on your path. More challenges will appear. You're telling me it's going to use this bit of my screen real estate for the whole game for no reason? Wow. Okay. This attack has been truly disastrous. That's another, like, just in that attack, 200,000 Germans have either died or, I mean, there's 200,000 casualties. That's kind of insane. Maybe we can do it. Maybe. Just maybe. The experienced defensive planner. Come on. I believe. Let's launch an offensive. You never know unless you try for the 10th time the same thing we've tried many, many times before. Real World War I hours out here. We have a more than 2-to-1 advantage. They have a massive advantage on tech. Yeah, it's not happening. Sadly. Are they still launching attacks? No, it's not happening. So let's take a look at this battle. Oh dear. That's bad timing. Great Britain demands transfer Greece. Okay, let's worry about that in a second. Why aren't we winning this battle, is my question. Number one, obviously, we have a stat disadvantage. But why was it this many men? Number of battalions, low concentrations across the length of front. Limited by terrain and infrastructure, by Brandenburg infrastructure, not by our infrastructure. Damn. And because we're fighting in coal mines, there is a combat width penalty. I didn't even know this game had terrain. Well, I think we just have to say yes to this, which sucks. Like, it really sucks. These guys were a nice subject. They're paying us. They're paying us 7,000 a month. Oh, let's at least look at what the play would look like, shall we? If we go, we can't fight. Surely we can't fight this. We have to totally give up on the German thing. But let's just have a look at the play. It's not safe coming in unless I unpause. Austria would back us. 2 Sicilies would back us. America would back them. Get Germany on our side? That'd be funny. I don't think it can be done. Plus, they probably have shrapnel artillery. Let's see. No. Well, okay, yeah, I think they do. Based off this having 40. But most of the rest don't. You know what? Maybe we can do it. Oh, we might be able to do it. I mean, what would we want from Britain? Oh, we'd have to fight all the way over here. No, we can't do it. We can't do it. I was thinking we could just defend Greece. We can't go and fight over this. And plus they'd blockade us. We'll have to give in. We'll have to give in, and in the light of that, we will also build a... Although if we're going to give in, we might as well give in after the opening moves, because it'll mean the truce is just ever so slightly longer. And right now we don't want to be fighting Britain. We want to be fighting either Germany or unrecognized powers. But what? But what if we made our war goal conquer Equatoria? Really? 11 infamy for this? What if we made it conquer the British Rift Valley? And then we just put a big army here, took the Rift Valley, and let their war enthusiasm tick negative. I think... All right, let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Okay, here's the play. We've got Austria, Belgium, 2 Sicilies, Serbia, and France on our side. In order to get France, we did have to conquer Sierra Leone. To get Belgium, they just want to leave the British power bloc. So, we are sending our army, Tsar's Bow, which I think we will need to split in half. And one of them will need to go to the Sierra Leone front. There isn't a Sierra Leone front. I thought there was a Sierra Leone front. That could spell the end of us. All right, that could be a problem. But my idea is we quickly grab the war goal here. We quickly grab Sierra Leone, and then they tick negative. They are also uncertain. Now, America is in. So, do I send an army to America? You know what we could do? I think we may just not do this in the end, but what we could do is conscript as many Americans as we can. This is the American conscripts, who aren't really contributing much to our war anyway. And we say, hey, get me a pious ruler. He will hold the line here as long as he can, which will not be long with his conscript army. And we might be able to pull out a win here, but if not, we'll probably just reload. All right, let's see how this goes. So we've got this guy heading to the front. He's not there yet, but there are a bunch of Belgian and French people ready to hold the line on the whatever it is, 35th parallel. What's the name of this line? Anyway, we're going to advance really quickly in towards this war goal. Now, you straight into Sierra Leone with the first fleet backing you up, and the second fleet assigned here aggressively intercepting any fleets that try and stop us. Meanwhile, we're somehow still holding here. Yeah, and now this is the problem. An American invasion. By the time they get there, I hope that the new Home Guard will be built, raising another 80 infantry army for home defense purposes. Pushing into Greece unsuccessfully. Good. They're attacking yet again, the Germans, that is. Oh my god, what a chaotic world. The game theory behind this war, by the way, is totally trash. Like, it's a terrible, terrible idea. Our war support can't go below 0 unless they get all of their war goals, so it doesn't matter that they've occupied Utah. Thing is, we're going to make England surrender and then just be at war with America. I should have put some war goals on America. Right? Yeah. Well, we haven't got much infamy at the moment. That's kind of a good opportunity to fight America, though. No, we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be working to expand this conflict right now. Ah, oh, damn, their fleet. Oh, the fleet is too weak to stop us? Really? That seems unlikely, but I'll take it. You have an attack order, right? No, you don't. Quick. Advance, advance. Over here, we have this war goal occupied. Your new objective, my man, should definitely be... Oh, I can invade Kenya. That's not what I want to do. Take Kenya. So that they can't resupply in here. So now with that occupied, we're just looking for conquer Sierra Leone. So yeah, that is how that works. Ah, because they have no war goals on them, I think their war support can go negative to begin with. That's good. We are going to get some devastation over here. I mean, I have to imagine we're not winning these battles. But these guys, they're just conscripts. I also added some African conscripts. They're not, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, they're not lives that we really care about. So, that's okay. We are losing at sea. That I do care about. That's going to stall this, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. You guys, new plan. Cancel the invasion. You're going to invade from here instead. That should work. Good. There's Kenya occupied. Then we'll bring these guys in as well. Now they're moving pretty fast, but they still lost a ton of organization. Which... Oh, now they've run into another fucking decentralized place. Alright. But as soon as they get there, they should be able to cruise down here. You guys... As soon as this battle's over, we're going to have you flee. Because the British boats are scary. Ooh, and yeah, the British trouncing the Belgian Navy here. Ooh, we do not have very many men here yet. They are being trained up, but yeah, we may have to switch the blocking force up here for a moment. Which is going to leave us in a pretty precarious position on the Prussian front. God, this perma-war situation is a little bit disastrous. Jesus, this is stressful. Massive British invasions of our northern side. Meanwhile, so close to the occupation of Sierra Leone that should secure British ticking war support. In America, we are slowing them, but Texas is not having a fun time. We haven't industrialized America at all yet. It's probably, honestly, I don't know if we even needed to go over to America. Probably not necessary, but might still be a good plan in the long run. We are winning these defenses narrowly. Narrowly. Okay, both of them have made it here. Eastern Army reassigned to this one. I think we have it. They're invading France. Does that give French... What do they need? War support? No, they have to... As long as they hold Tahiti, which they're likely to. Now, British war support can go negative. We now just need to try and occupy more British land to drive up their war exhaustion, basically, and not, you know, and kill a whole bunch of them as they land on the frozen shores up here, which should be good. Can you change these kinds of mobilization laws while they're at war? No, I mean you can, but and it's while they're, I don't mean while they're at war. I mean while they're mobilized. We're still making money, which is kind of insane. Our construction sectors are growing, which is good. It's kind of kind of unbelievable. We're still holding back the Germans, and look, our advantage on this front is getting better and better because they keep attacking us. If we just brought all our forces down here now, secondary fleet repaired. That's good. Is there even? There isn't an enemy fleet up here, so you guys We'll see if you can kick them out of the Baltic Sea. Oh, I didn't even notice there was a Vlachian revolt. Doesn't appear to be an issue. Gosh. What a situation. War goals were enforced on Belgium, but Belgium got out of the British power bloc. Not quite sure how that works. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really understand that, but we are going to try an offensive here again, because we have better than 2-to-1 odds again, and they're losing all these attacks against us. We are holding them in the north without too much problem. In fact, we're holding them so well that I'm going to let the new Home Guard take over, even though there's not very many of them, to bring the Eastern Army back down to this front. Although, maybe I shouldn't. You know what? Yeah, let's get sneaky with it. Why can't I? What do you mean you have no valid alternatives for a set HQ? Alright, like, go down here so that you're nearby. I wanted to set the HQ, like, here, but... Wow, why is your organization 0? A supply shortage of 100%. Multiply... because you're trying to ship stuff here rather than just sending it by rail, I guess. Okay, well, you... Let's take you off that. Go down here. You're not doing any good there anyway. But my thinking is we keep people off this front line, so the Germans keep attacking, and then when they're exhausted, we strike. Although in fact, maybe now is when they're exhausted, and now is therefore when we should strike. Let's give it a go. But they've replenished their numbers so quickly. Look at this, thousands. More than 1,000 men rejoin their army every day. We are getting breech-loading artillery, though. Oh dear. British, you may not invade me. That's a fleet, not an army. Whoops. That's a mistake. Send this army over there. Are they going to get there in time? I guess I should go and contest this landing this way. That makes it contested, which hopefully gives these guys time to arrive. That would be bad if they managed to land here. We should have a little while before the British fleet... Whoa. Going at the speed of bug. Yeah, I mean, look how fast they replenished their men. I don't think we can realistically attack in there. Let's just go and help the French and Austrians defend. That way we can kill more British and lower their war support. This is just a crazy conflict, man. This is completely insane. The raging back and forths of multiple global conflicts. And America is, yeah, I mean, not having a good time. But even if we lose to America, they only get Utah, which, I mean, not the biggest loss. We could get it back relatively easily. The Germans propose white peace. I have to say no. But France is accepting. Let's see what happens if I say no. Because I really want to win this war, and I think in 25 months, I think I can. Let's say no. America got forced out of the war, and thereby lost all its occupations. But why? I do not understand that. And there are still fights going on deep behind enemy lines in here. I don't know why they left. It said was forced to capitulate, but I think it just means like reached 0 war support. But anyway, we're going to win this against Britain pretty soon. Then we can go back to focusing on the old Germans. This is unbelievably inefficient, by the way, as a way to kind of further our ambitions. Like, this war is for many, many years, but but oh well. Boom. Don't try to steal my Greece. We have victory over Great Britain. And apparently Belgium didn't leave the power bloc enforced, but they are nonetheless outside of the power bloc. So let's see if we can get them in our power bloc instead. That seems fun. Nice. So now we redeploy all our men. And these two can merge back in. We redeploy all our men. And, I mean, we might not have to wait for shrapnel artillery, because they do keep attacking us. Perak, I do not care about you. And now, I think our units that had crazy bad supply... Like, yeah, why do you have 0 supply? I guess it was just because of the British sinking too many convoys. But, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they just... 80,000 men? Surely we can push 80,000 men. Like, I know it says their average defense is really high, but aren't a bunch of them dead? Like, this average defense is not 50. So, give it another go. What, one more fruitless attack into the jaws of death. Give it a chance. Give it a go. You guys, come on down. Come on down. You know, you never know unless you try, right? We have 52 advantage. Come on. Come on. Just one quick little battle for Berlin. No. Oh. It might be doable. Might be doable. We have fresh reinforcements arriving. Many fresh reinforcements to flood the front with. These guys, I don't know when they're going to finally get some troops, but they're going to be replenishing their armies in the background too quickly. You know what? They're not. Their numbers are declining. My numbers are increasing. We may actually win this. You know what's going to happen, by the way? We're going to eventually win this through unspeakable cost. 3.7 million dead on our side, dead and wounded. And then, just because of the way the unification mechanics work, they're just going to unify anyway. That's my current theory. We have at least been modernizing while we do this and getting a bunch of power block statues up to make our stuff cheaper. But this is truly an unspeakable amount of carnage, which is not in any sense going to have been worth it at the end of the day, is my honest assessment. I'm spreading these out, by the way, just because I'm still worried about qualifications. Nope. We still can't break through. Damn it. We won one battle, which is good, but yeah, it's not happening. They really need a set all to defend button. Where even is my attacking army? That's their side. That'll do it. You switch back to admin defense. All right, well, back to the perma war while we wait for breach loading artillery. Oh boy. It has been, I don't know, 6 hours, maybe 4.5 hours in this one war. And this is where we win. Hang on, can we upgrade? Yeah, okay. The artillery can be upgraded even though it's in the war, right? Maybe you can't. That would be really annoying. These guys are all showing that they are already mobile artillery, though. And it says that they have 30 offense. 40 offense, rather. Well, let's just see. This war is so unbelievably inefficient, by the way. But yeah, they're all upgrading to shrapnel. Show me my average offense. Rise. So far, not much. 36. Be 41 at full manpower. What else could we do? We could pay the military more. We have got loads of money right now. Sure, let's overpay the military. I also stood down a bunch of our armies because they didn't need to be constantly mobilized. So let's bring them back to the front now that I think we're in a good position to actually give it to them here. So remobilize everybody back to the front. Not the American conscripts, for everybody else. Oh, Germany. Oh, at long last, the hammer shall be brought down. This war's been like 20 years long. Does it not tell you when they started? Oh, don't crash now. Okay, good. I assume I can work out how long the war has been going based on length of war somewhere? Like, is your capitulation desire affected by length of war? No. Is your peace acceptance? No. This is definitely the biggest war, not biggest, but like bloodiest war I've ever been involved in Victoria 3, I think. It's kind of insane. Yes, we now have more than 2 to 1, even though they haven't been doing an attack. And our troops are steadily upgrading. We can see that we now do have 4 shrapnel artillery in here. Still pretty crap offense. Organization needs some problems with the shipping lane. It says problems. Oh, we actually have a convoy shortage. Whoops. My bad. Oh, right, yeah, and we have the new breech loaders. Jolly good. Give me a little bit of, right, yeah, and bulk trading too. Which I think we're going to do anyway, even though it thinks it'll be bad. I suspect it's wrong. Subsidize all the ports. All the ports in our land anyway. Yeah, there's quite a few ports here that are not fully employed. So with them subsidized, we should fix this convoy problem. The whole big fronts thing, on balance, I think it is a good thing. But I do wish the troops were over here, because they're acquiring a bunch of ports to supply them over here, which is kind of, you know, not ideal. Oh, the game might be crashing again. Hopefully not. No, it has been hanging a whole bunch, which is a bit frustrating, but ah well. Okay, I'll let the shrapnel artillery filter through, and then we push. Okay. They all have full organization. They don't all have completely full manpower, but they all have full organization. We take the... Where is he? Sorry, that's their armies. We get the guy that's good at offensive, and we finally break these bastards. Take up the Tsar's sword. You have too many artillery and cavalry. Whoops, there we go. No, you're the expert defensive. Who is it? Is it Yar's Blade? Oh, we have 2 Yar's Blades by accident. Yar's Blade. Offensive strategist. No, where? Is it Tsar's Bow? Here he is. Cruel. So this guy, to be clear why we're using this guy, he's got cruel, 10% kill rate. He's got experienced offensive plan, 10% offense, and he's got bigoted, 5% offense. Okay. Frolov, do me proud. Advance the freaking front. Take Berlin. Our numbers advantage is not as good as it has been in the past, but we now have the shrapnel artillery, which hopefully can get this done. Yes, that's a good start. That's a very good start. Blasting our way through them. Nice. Okay. If we can just do that a few more times, then we'll finally won this conflict. Meanwhile, I don't know, build some gold mines or something, and some iron mines. Honestly, I'm... Well, let's finish the war and then we'll talk about it. But yeah, alright. Good first battle. Very good first battle. Second battle, a blunder. A critical blunder by General Wilhelm. Wilhelm, I guess. 20% casualties taken. A careful maneuver from Frolov. Hell yes. Burn it down. 12% from that first battle. We gotta occupy more than that, man. You want trade privileges for nothing? No? Obviously not. Come on. Burn through them. I will have Berlin. If it is the last thing I do, I will have Berlin. I don't know why this place is getting less devastated, by the way, because I thought occupation increased it. And we occupy... Oh, it's not showing as occupied, even though that's where the front line is. Okay, so it's just bugged. Fair enough. 27%, third battle. We're not losing steam. In fact, we're massively gaining steam. Look at their numbers. Tank. Look at that. That is glorious. That is absolutely glorious. I'm going to have to check the footage. How long was this war? Just because we didn't have blooming... I mean, not just, but massively, massively extended because we didn't have shrapnel artillery. Unbelievable. Can you imagine how much war exhaustion they're going to get? Whatever it is, war support they're going to lose once we actually have their capital. I swear it's going to be like, you know, I don't know, 20 a month? Sorry, 20 a week or something? It's going to be a lot. We now have them 5-1. Launch another offensive. I got rid of a bunch of our cavalry, which is partly why we're attacking slower than we were. Come on. Break them. Break them down. No, thank you. We're close now. We've got them down to 80,000. 600,000 to 80,000. The Germans fought unbelievably well in this battle. It honestly is kind of insane how well they managed to hold on. But the superior tech. It's something I actually like about this game is that the offense and defense values matter a lot, which allows you to kind of punch above your weight, or in this case, your population, by being more technologically advanced. But it will not spare them. It will not spare Berlin from this great vengeance. They started it actually as well. Hadn't occurred to me. I wonder if once they start ticking down, France will offer them like, okay, well, we'll just liberate the Rhineland. That would be annoying. That would be very annoying. I don't think they're gonna, but let's see. Look at this. 602,000 men in this one battle. It's plains. We march through the German plains, and with it, we secure our victory. They lost 20. 22 war support. That is absurd. Do not accept a freaking white piece by mistake. Right at the end here. And yes, the battle spread, and they are being obliterated. Germany finally falls. And before it falls, let's just take a look here. 44 million cost the war on their side, 77 million on ours. That means we spent less money than them. I mean, we personally. Dead, 600,000 in battle, 170. That's a really low attrition number now I think about it. Historically speaking, there'd be more to attrition than battle, I think, in this era. But yeah, we have... I mean, because we managed to get France to do a bunch of the fighting as well, we lost half as many men as them in this whole conflict, which is, kind of good. Boom. Look at that. The cut down to size did, in fact, apply to a whole bunch of places. That is a thing of beauty. I want to see the GDP drop. That's the GDP drop? It's not worse than that. That's kind of crazy. So I wonder if they will now all rejoin their bloc. I guess we try and now invite a bunch of them to the bloc. But, in fact, we don't, because I think we're going to end the campaign there. That war really took it out of me. Genuinely, I don't know how long it was from your perspective. From my perspective, that war took 9 hours. What I have learned from that war is 2 things. One, there's a reason that game theory says punch down. Just take out weaker people as much as possible. You don't need to fight big people like the North German Federation. Don't fight the big guys. Fight lots of little guys and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then when you fight the big guys, the little guys rather. Sorry, the big guys, they are the little guys. So what And yeah, second one is don't get involved in a big land war in Europe. So I'm going to go play next campaign as Britain. But before we do that, let's take stock of the situation. We managed to, with the help of the religious schools, really start pumping up our literacy. You can tell precisely where we switched on our schooling. But that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. We had a bit of an economic boom. We are now the largest GDP in the world, having overtaken Great Britain, which is pretty cool. We have a vast, vast army. It's the largest except Qing's, I imagine. Yes, it's also now the best, I think. Our power projection from army is, I would say, almost certainly the strongest. We took a bunch of land in America, which honestly we didn't use very much. I mean, we got some gold out of it, but at the end of the day, we didn't really make best use of this land, which is partly just because we didn't need to, because we had plenty to develop at home, more or less. The other thing that we really blundered on and that makes me want to restart is that our companies aren't very good. Now, they're not terrible by any stretch, but if we look globally and we look at profit, not being the best in the world when we have such massive industrialization, it does hurt me. And the Russian-American company, I mean, it's getting there with all its trade centers and things, but basically I think it's partly because we weren't on laissez-faire for such a long time, which obviously is not exactly our fault, but also it's because we, I think we picked bad companies, and we didn't use them properly. We should have been trying to pick companies that the private queue was building, basically, I think. So I'm going to try and do better on companies next time, is my theory. But yeah, it was a pretty fun game. I could keep going, of course, but I feel like we blundered. We blundered hard. Let me check. Let me pull up the recording. How long was that war? We basically wasted. I mean, it's good to have done huge permanent damage to Prussia, as long as assuming they don't just like reunify. It's definitely a good thing, but it was a massive waste of resources. I kind of enjoyed doing it, which is why I didn't, just bail early. But it was definitely a waste of resources. Let me check how long that war was. Yeah, it was 1866 that diplomatic play started. So it took us 9 years. God, that's actually less long than I thought it was. But the thing is, Victoria 3 always feels so short to me that when I lose time like that and it's really suboptimal, it just makes me want to start again, try and be more optimal. So that's what we're going to do. I think I didn't notice that Egypt is actually back in the Ottoman bloc. That's pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to play as the UK. And the objective as the UK is full colonial. We want to be very good friends with Austria, with France, with Spain, with the North German Federation, with Sweden. These are all our good buddy, good chums. All we want to do is probably still take this land again and colonize and build up an overseas empire. We don't want to fight in Europe. We just want to fight the little guy. That's the plan. I hope you enjoyed this Russia campaign. I'm sorry it's ending probably sooner than you might want it to, but I think I would have more fun playing a game that we didn't throw away like 10 years of fighting a huge war. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, actually, one last thing. I've been being annoyed by tooltips unlocking when you do this, and so I've switched. Oh my god, I thought it didn't even solve the problem, but it does. I've switched it now so it's middle click to lock rather than hover, which I think is better and more consistent. So that's my recommendation to you. Bye-bye.